Good life easy, baby. We're back.
Again.
Good life easy.
Welcome back, bro.
What's up,
It's
bro?
been a minute.
It's been a while.
Today, I came across an article on Instagram saying that UFC this year has organized around 36 events.
Incredible.
That's around 400 fights. 400 plus fights. So practically, UFC is the only company that has won
Correct.
the COVID lockdown
Correct.
and the corona effects and the
400
hell of 2020.
400 fights in a span of 6 to 8 months.
400 plus fights.
Yeah. 36 events.
Yeah. And you know what that means, right? That means the UFC as an organization paid not only the fighters,
Correct.
but did not fire anybody.
Incredible.
You know,
Incredible.
Had provided, as their company does, entertainment
Incredible.
for a lot of people and their audience.
What I would like to compare this to is the NBA, because the NBA also started off in the bubble, but they say that the NBA lost out on a lot of revenue because a lot of their revenue comes through tickets.
Of course.
And their viewership also dropped like crazy. But here on the other hand, the UFC had 3 of their biggest pay-per-view viewings in the coronavirus lockdown, right? So I think 249, 250 and 252 had an average viewership of around 1.2 mil.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So how NBA lost money, as in UFC's also lost a little
Of
money.
course.
Because when people come in and they pay $10,000 a ticket, that's a lot of fucking money,
Of course.
right? So they're losing on that
But
revenue.
but
the persistence of Dana White, you know,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
persistent he was,
Yeah.
because he fought against the media who was saying that he's an asshole to organize events when there's COVID going on. Then the politicians were trying to get him out of every state. I think California and Las Vegas told him, no, we're not having any fights.
But
And
he did it.
he came out and said that, fuck you guys, Fight Island. You
It's
know,
mine.
wait and watch.
Bro,
Coming soon.
Yas Island, Abu Dhabi took over. But what's shocking is that his like 3 UFC nights broke records. So what can people say, bro?
अरे घर बैठ के आदमी करेगा
तो
क्या अभी?
अरे वो यहाँ पर NBA क्यों नहीं देखा? NBA नहीं देखा, UFC इतने लोग देख रहे हैं, bro. That's the scene. That's why I'm shocked.
I'll tell you why. Because see, like NBA happened and then there were talks of NFL also starting.
And everything started. Everything started. Even IPL
happened,
started.
right? But UFC happened in the prime lockdown.
Yes. That was the
situation.
only spot
the
to
early
watch.
months. You understand?
Okay. And it was 36 events.
36 events.
So people kept watching it, kept watching, kept building up.
And it was the only sporting event that was there for people to watch.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And out of all the sports, it was MMA. It was, combat sports.
Took over.
And it took over. The audience grew, as you said.
Over.
You know, even though they must have lost out on people coming to the
ESPN and that
live
streaming service,
fights.
bro, making bang.
bro.
Compare that to Top Rank's fights, bro. You know how much Top Rank was averaging? Max to max 400k viewers. So there's a big shift.
Of course.
There's a big shift, and
Of
the shift has
course.
already happened.
Boxing is dead.
Bro, half, not even half, bro.
Dead.
33% of the viewers were on Top Rank compared to 100% at UFC.
No, it's crazy to see. And basically what deal UFC has with ESPN after they got bought out for that $5 billion or some deal
Correct.
is that minimum 54, 56 events they have to host to even like break even kind of a thing, you know. So Dana White knew that he can't let go of those 3, 6, 8 months, whatever COVID is, however COVID is going to last.
He made it happen.
You know, so he knew that he had to make it happen, and he bloody well did it.
Did it. And how did he do it, bro? Only he knows.
Against all odds.
All odds.
You know,
Incredible.
today you couldn't go to Lonavala, bro, when there were fights happening in UFC. You know,
Incredible. And I
flying
think
people to
I think
Abu Dhabi.
he tapped into also the right country, bro. UAE, you know, they love to host events.
So UAE,
and they love to host superstars.
So UAE is very famous since a long time for their love of combat sports. So they've always supported boxing, jiu-jitsu, and MMA since a long time. And in fact, even judo and karate and all of that.
Basically, all in all, combat sports.
Yeah, they've been big supporters.
So
and
it was
followers of that.
They took advantage of the situation.
Bro, Fight Island, matlab, you know, I was like, wow, this is like unbelievable. If this guy creates a Fight Island,
Incredible.
that is epic, and we saw it happen.
Madness. And it's still happening.
Yeah, and all the European fighters are like, dude, I don't mind Abu Dhabi as compared to America, because look at the luxury we are getting.
They're not leaving only.
They're not leaving.
They're not leaving now. They sat there, bro. They're like, Dana, give me a fight. We'll stay here only, you know?
We're not leaving.
What, Habib was there for like what? He's still there.
No, see, Habib is a guest
He's
of
still
the king.
King, huh? So he's been there since 6-8 months.
Yeah.
He's not leaving only.
He
His
said-
coach has also settled with him
Yeah,
there.
his coach is also
AK
chilling.
Javier.
Javier.
He's also settled. But then again, you know, they are
Every day they go to a new cafe and have some nice, expensive, luxury-looking coffee I've seen,
yeah,
with a
man,
pastry
yeah,
and all.
And then they go to that huge ass gym of theirs, like the whole stadium.
Nas complex.
Yeah. But all in all, UFC won.
UFC fucking won COVID, bro.
UFC
And
won.
It's so amazing to see the evolution of UFC, right?
Incredible.
Like, you know the history of UFC.
Yeah.
How it started. It was basically the Gracie family,
Yeah.
who are the pioneers of Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
They wanted to get Jiu-Jitsu popular, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu popular in America. And they have a very famous thing. What they used to do in Brazil is for example, if you're a boxer or you're a wrestler or you're into judo or karate, whatever your sport is.
Whatever martial
will-
art you practice.
Yeah, open challenge. So it
Fair
was
enough.
called the Gracie Challenge.
Fair enough.
And the kind of fight
No rules, right?
it was called Vale Tudo. So Vale Tudo fights is Vale Tudo is Portuguese for basically no holds bar. Like everything goes,
Go all
everything
out.
allowed.
Go all out.
You know,
Go all out.
or full contact combat sport. So they would do this Gracie Challenge just to prove that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the most advanced martial art for today in today's practical life for self-defense and attack. So they knew that the word Vale Tudo will not work in America.
Correct.
So they decided to market it as UFC. Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Correct.
And the first UFC, bro. We've seen those throwback videos.
Eight fighters, no? There were 8 fighters that took place in the first UFC.
No gloves.
No gloves, no judges, no time
judges,
limit.
No time
if you
limit.
get knocked down, he can keep kicking you. And
Headbutts allowed.
Headbutts allowed.
Punching
I think,
the throat allowed.
Yeah, you can knee also.
Knee to today.
Yeah, like you can knee on the back of the head.
Yeah, you can knee
there
on
were
the back,
basically
yeah.
no rules.
No rules.
Compared to what it is today.
Yeah.
But you know what, bro? I thought about it. I wouldn't take the first UFC as a sport, bro. That's not a sport. According to me, that's just like going crazy.
So
a sport has to be administered.
right. Good point. So basically, coming back to the Gracie family, why they wanted to hold this Vale Tudo, the no holds bar, the everything goes fight, called the Ultimate Fighting Championship, was to prove. Okay, there was always competition between karate people and taekwondo people.
Because it was very new back
and
then.
taekwondo people versus judo people, right? Judo versus BJJ, which is the best martial art. So a boxer says that, what are you doing all this,
Correct.
being close to a man like this and
Correct.
hugging him all the time.
Correct.
That's not fighting.
Correct.
I'll take you.
Still boxers
standing up.
say that till this
Yeah,
day.
exactly. So that's why the Gracie family wanted to hold this UFC
Absolutely.
to prove that BJJ is the most superior form of martial arts.
True.
Boxing, wrestling, judo, come.
Yes.
Sumo wrestlers, come.
Everyone is invited.
Dutch kickboxers,
another thing,
come.
bro. No weight class.
No.
Incredible. No weight class, bro. What the hell? That's how, I'm like, dude, that ain't a sport, bro. Firstly, in sport, it's basically either by age or by weight.
Yeah.
Here it's by none.
None.
You're understanding?
Brutal.
So it was just like you put anyone against anyone in the cage. Whoever taps
The wild,
out
wild west,
fucking dies wins, bro. Whoever kills a person wins. Indirectly.
But don't you think, Rahul, that that's what actually brought fame also to UFC? Think about it.
Yeah, of course, because
Right?
it's brutal. People would love to, bro. If you know that somebody could die in
Right?
front of you
Yeah.
while you're watching TV, while you're watching a fight, and you know that there's a possibility that one fighter could die, who the hell wouldn't watch that fight?
And today it's marketed like, martial arts versus martial arts. And today, if you are a practitioner of judo, you would like to see, okay, chalo, let's see how this kickboxer performs against a judo guy. Can the judo guy give him a throw or whatnot?
So all the different communities of all the different disciplines of these martial arts came together and started watching UFC.
And at the end, what happened was a Dutch kickboxer, that lanky, thin guy, thinner than you, he fought a sumo wrestler.
Whooped him, right?
Bro, the sumo wrestler basically was so shocked because first time in his life he got kicked. Okay? He got kicked so hard, his teeth flew away and few of his teeth went in the foot of the Dutch boxer.
Damn.
And UFC 1 was basically like a knockout competition.
Yeah.
So you have to win elimination.
Yeah. Correct.
Right? So you have to win. So you have to fight 3 fights to
Correct.
win the UFC 1.
Correct.
So the third fight he had to come with a band-aid around his fucking feet.
And fight. But he lost. No, the first one was who? The winner, Royce Gracie.
Royce Gracie. So in Portuguese, na, R is H.
Yeah. Royce.
So it's not Rickson, it's Hickson.
Hickson, yeah.
Yeah.
So BJJ basically was the top martial art.
Yeah, and he came in a karate gi. Oh, also gi.
Anything could be on.
You know, anything that you wear basically is allowed to be used as a weapon as per the rules of karate, judo. You know, in judo there's a choke with the gi.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Which we do.
Yeah. So in Royce also used to use his gi.
Fair enough.
You know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So
and the first fight that Royce fought was a boxer with one glove.
Oh, got whooped, huh?
You know why?
Why?
What the reason the boxer gave?
What?
Basically, that guy was a pro boxer. And he said he was going to get an opportunity to fight, I think, Hagler or Hearns. Okay, which was going to be a big fight.
Big fight.
So he said he didn't want to fucking ruin his hand.
Oh, so he was fighting with his jab.
So he was just fighting with one glove.
Damn. What a dumbass.
Yeah. And his thing was that I'll just fight. If one cut, I'll quit.
Quit.
Yeah.
And he
just
quit.
for the money.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he lost
big time.
Easy money for
Easy
Royce.
Easy money. And then fast forward to 2001 when Dana took over.
Yeah.
And made the sport mainstream. From almost facing bankruptcy to now as one of the biggest sports in the world.
So my point, the irony that it was the most unorganized sport. As you said, there was no weight class.
Yeah.
You could wear anything.
Not a sport, basically.
It was
not a sport.
It was
bro.
it was not a sport.
It's not
bro.
a sport.
It was a viewing event.
Yeah. Like you don't watch the movie Fight Club is not a sports
It's not a
movie.
sport, yeah,
it's
it's not a
basically like a fucking it's for maniacs. You know? Just think about it. Because there are no rules, bro. There are no rules, you know?
It's true, yeah.
That's what. So it's crazy.
But I think you have to be a little psycho to get into a thing like that.
Of course.
Right?
But that side became famous.
Yeah, so coming from a totally unorganized fight style to a company that is so organized that a company that is a global company. Okay, it's so organized that it's holding events and doing its job when the whole world is under a lockdown.
Incredible.
Right?
Incredible.
So you can't
Props
put the
to
man
Dana.
down.
Dana, you can't. Why would you think he gives a shit?
No.
You think he gives a shit?
He won the lockdown,
You
bro.
think
He won
gives
Corona.
a dude? Dana is like
He won 2020.
bro, entrepreneur of the year.
Facts.
You know?
Oh,
Think about that.
what do you think entrepreneur of the year is Jeff or Dana? Because Jeff made like 5,000 million trillion billion.
Bro, there are levels to this shit. You know, there's levels to this shit. But I think, bro, Dana is like on his way. For sure. Because
on Instagram we see now that every minute Bezos makes $200,000 or $1 million.
But there's levels. That's why there's levels to this shit, bro.
So you gave entrepreneur of the year too?
Yeah, I think I gave it to Dana, bro.
Yeah,
I don't
I
give
gave
a
it to
fuck, bro. Elon didn't provide me no sort of entertainment.
But Amazon also a winner. Huh? I'm just saying.
Don't give a shit,
I'm
bro.
just
I
saying.
think Dana White. Okay, entrepreneur of the year for sports in the sports industry, 110%.
Or event management.
Event management.
Event
too.
manager of the year.
Yeah, 100%. But you know why I would give event manager of the year to the NBA commissioner because not even one player tested positive. So you know it was very well controlled. Bro, see, when it comes to events, of course, there was one fighter who tested positive, that Brazilian fellow.
There were many fighters who tested positive.
And then they had to go back and then there were different fights, blah,
Many
blah.
fighters
But the fight went on, you know? So
like that's
crazy.
IPL also now, bro.
It's crazy. So, I think Dana has taken the sport to another level. Dana and his partners.
To another level. And UFC coming from a place where everybody saw it and everybody assumed that this is WWF. This is WWE. You know, this is fake.
Correct.
It can't be. A sumo wrestler can't
Too
fight
good to be
against-
true.
It's too good to be
Too
true.
good to be true.
And that's what in the beginning got the viewers interested. So
Correct.
UFC in the very early stages were doing very well on pay-per-view. And then what happened? Then the politicians started seeing this and started thinking that this is too dangerous.
They banned it, right?
They banned it in all the states.
Bro, apparently it was banned in New York.
Bro, the only guy who helped Dana White that time was Trump. Yeah,
At
Atlantic
least
City.
Imagine that
Yeah,
shit.
in Trump Towers.
Imagine that.
Las Vegas, LA, Florida,
Incredible.
New York, all banned.
All banned.
Also banned
Major
from pay-per-view.
cities.
Banned from pay-per-view.
So you can't come. Oh, okay.
You understand?
That's where it all
you can't
changes.
come on TV. So you can. So that time, basically, Dana came on the internet very early. But actually, not him. It's basically the fans. The fans. You know, some of the fans are so diehard. They keep the sport alive. You know, they
Correct.
keep
By
the
just
whole
talking about it,
thing
engaging.
engaging. So online, the MMA community became so huge that they realized that this sport is going to fucking kill it in the next few years.
Kill it.
So that internet and that audience and the fans kept UFC alive. Otherwise, it was dying.
Bro, there's a heavy case study about how Dana White wants his social media operated. So they say that the way UFC operates their social media is mind-blowing. Because firstly, though, we know that whenever there's a superstar
Right.
that's born, like Conor, Habib, Ronda, they are everywhere over the internet. They are giving interviews. They are speaking
Movies,
to reporters one-on-one. They are
Coming up with products.
everything, bro.
Yeah.
So this is Dana's plan that when there's one superstar, give him all the attention, give him all the screen time he can. Bro, Dana White as the CEO of a sport has 5.5 million followers as a CEO.
Yeah.
Colossal.
Yeah.
Another thing is, bro, you know what? Dana White apparently pays his fighters extra if they're active on Twitter. You understanding? So this encourages fighters that, okay, let me go on social media, let me fuck around.
Sell tickets.
That's it.
Sell tickets.
That's it.
Sell pay-per-views.
And oh, bro, how can we forget, bro? UFC used to stream fights for free on Facebook.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The
Madness.
internet kept UFC alive, and the fans
Madness.
kept UFC alive. Because they didn't know where the company is going. Basically, the owners were like, we don't have money for the next event. And then Dana went to the Fertitta brothers.
Yeah, Fertitta.
Those
Two brothers who are
casino owners.
they're partners, no, in the UFC.
They are owners of the UFC.
Three partners,
Yeah.
right? Zufa.
His name is Zufa.
No, the company's name is Zufa.
Okay. Yeah. And so basically UFC coming from a place where the audience was attracted to the sport. It was attracted to the craziness of the sport, the bloodiness of the sport, right? And now it's come to a point where champions are been born and the champions are attracting the viewers, right?
Crazy. But
So the audience took it to one place, and then came the Ronda Rousey, the Conor McGregor, the GSP,
and then they took it to
the
another
Habibs,
level. Yeah.
And then they shot it up to another level.
Bro, another thing, you know what I feel that Dana and these Fertitta brothers did very well is that in the initial stages, what they started doing is they started hosting UFC in other countries. So what happened is that MMA became very famous in that country, not only to watch, but also to fight and perform one day in the UFC. But what these three guys did is that they started acquiring all these local MMA tournaments from these countries. So what happened is that, bro, UFC became the monopoly.
Yeah.
The biggest competition to UFC, I think, was Pride PFC in Japan.
So Pride basically is a huge organizer, and that was UFC's biggest loss. So basically what happened when they bought Pride,
Did they buy Pride or did they acquire all their fighters?
so they bought Pride. Okay. And the fighters come with the
Okay.
But all the contracts were ended. The contracts were not there for some fighters.
So they could have just
fully mismanaged. So basically they bought Pride and got nothing out of it. Zilch.
Damn.
Yeah, they made a huge loss out of.
But still,
Pride.
bro, you gotta take some losses.
And Pride was huge,
Of course. Bro, they've taken over like quite a. Bro, they've acquired like so many leagues, bro.
Yeah.
That's why right now, who's the competition?
Yeah.
Besides the one.
There's Bellator and one championship.
Bro.
But
it all depends. It all depends. Again, we'll go back to that topic about superstars.
That's what.
There are no superstars in Bellator.
Not superstars. There are stars.
There are stars. There are no superstars in the one.
Yeah.
But there are only superstars in the UFC coming out right
That's
now.
what I'm saying. So it started off where the audience kept the company floating, saying that no, we enjoy the sport, we want the sport to grow. And now it's become so organized and so mainstream and so legit. Superstars are born, and the superstars are attracting audience and making new audiences in the country. Right?
Madness.
GSP got the whole Canada watching.
Madness.
Ronda got the whole America watching. Became so mainstream. Every woman wanted to be an MMA star the next day. Conor McGregor, Europe.
I think Conor
worships him.
McGregor India as well. Ronda and Conor India, bro.
India, to obviously.
Like for India also, bro. Like as of
it built fans,
dude. Like if you figure out the viewers that are watching UFC in India, you know what was in 2018? What was the count? You'll be shocked.
What?
100 million.
But of course.
100 million viewers from India. I'm shocked.
Why?
Bro, I'm shocked. 100 million, bro.
Of course, bro.
In 2018.
Of course.
As of 2018.
Bro, India firstly is a huge country.
Mad.
And we have a great history in martial arts. So I don't doubt it at all.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
And I think India used to be a good pay-per-view buyer for even this boxing.
Boxing.
Yeah.
And bro, 44% of the viewers, women.
Oh, that I didn't know.
because of Ronda Rousey and Conor.
Exactly. You see?
You're understanding?
The point,
And again, Dana played it very smart. In 2012, he introduced women championships.
yeah.
So the first women champion was Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Became a huge star.
Superstar,
Took
mega
over.
star. Yeah.
Women got attracted to the MMA.
Yeah. See what Khabib has done, bro. Russia. You've seen on how they watch his fights, na, bro.
Illegal.
Not only Dagestan, the whole of Russia, the whole of UAE,
UAE, yeah.
bro. They love Khabib. They love him.
Actually, right now everyone loves Khabib. Bro.
But I'm just saying. So he got that entire crowd.
That whole Eurasia को लेके आया वो.
Europe is for Conor.
And then we have Australia,
Yeah.
where we got Izzy.
Izzy's New Zealand.
But same, bro.
Yeah.
You know the whole
Australia has Robert Whittaker, bro.
same. That area is.
But they are rivals, huh?
Whatever, bro. Whatever.
Countries
but
also rivals.
same, bro. I have to look at New Zealand and Australia as the same, bro. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, when first a sport develops and then the fighter develops the sport.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
But talking about not just the organization that is UFC, talking about the sport that is MMA, right? When was the last time you saw sport going mainstream?
I think it's MMA.
It's MMA,
It's MMA.
right?
There's nothing else.
Like in our lifetime, when we were born
Yeah.
to right now,
Yeah.
all the sports have
Yeah.
been there before us, 100, 200 years old, cricket, football, all of them.
From 1993, from first UFC to today, I think it is 26 years. It's 26 years old.
It's 25, 26 years old.
26 years old, bro. 1993, I was born.
Yeah, that's a young sport.
26.
Yeah.
I think the first fight took place in November. So 26 years, bro, it's too young to be a sport.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
Where it has reached.
Too young to be a global mainstream sport,
bro.
with 1 million plus pay-per-view buys.
Bro, wait. Let's just put it in such a way, a sport that overtook boxing.
Yeah.
Let's put it in that way.
Yeah.
In 26 years, a combat sport comes and overtakes boxing.
All the elitist analysts of boxing and the boxing world were all saying that this is ridiculous.
What is this? It's
What
a
is it?
joke.
Is this a dog fight? Is this a
Where's
fucking
the class?
chicken fight?
Where's the class?
Where's the class? Where's the technique? And then Joe Rogan used to fight with them on TV and news channels and all of that. Have you seen those clips?
Well, I think Joe Rogan actually put MMA on the map too.
Yeah, bro. Dana White holds him in high regard.
Of course, has to.
He actually made MMA
Of course.
very mainstream. So
Incredible.
yeah, MMA as a sport going mainstream, bro. Think about it. We've never seen one, right?
Not at all.
Like I can't remember any other sport going
Not at
global mainstream where everybody talks about it after the event occurs. you
Correct. To be honest, on a personal level, even I was one of those guys like, what is UFC?
know? Of course.
I think it was you as well.
Yeah, of course.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
Stop this shit, please.
No, I didn't want to stop.
I was like, please, what is
I was
this?
I was like curious.
I was like, what
about
is this cage and all? What is this fucking
You didn't like
madness,
it?
bro? I was just like, no, dude. I'm like, I like boxing.
it. But I'll tell you a true story now, bro.
What?
Okay. I just remembered this, bro. I swear to God, I'm not lying. Okay. True story.
Huh.
I swear, I just remember this. I'm
Spit it.
So how I found out about UFC now? Okay, I'm not joking.
Huh.
I was going to the airport. Okay, and I had 2 heavy bags with me. So I decided
Heavy bags as in not heavy bag, but heavy bags.
like big bags. So I decided that I'm going to call for a Uber SUV.
Okay.
So a nice Innova came.
Nice.
And the gentleman was
Lux.
super nice, bro. Like a super nice guy, bro.
Superb.
I was having a lovely conversation with him and he was telling me that he's going to go home and watch some fight which is going to happen. I don't even know the fighters and all. He's like, आप UFC नहीं देखते? I said, नहीं, मैं boxing देखता हूँ. तो he's like, अरे boxing तो कल की बात है.
Arey.
And he knew everybody, Mayweather, everybody he knew.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like,
Punjabi?
No, bro. Like a Maharashtrian guy,
क्या
local.
बात है?
Yeah.
Amazing to see.
And he was talking with such excitement. He's like, आप देखो. And that time it was coming on some channel. So he's like, ये channel पे आ रहा है, आप देखो, आप देखते नहीं हो, ओ आप भूल जाओगे सब. He's like, इतना excitement आपको boxing में कभी नहीं मिलेगा.
Wow.
I remember this.
Wow.
And
So
I
props
remember,
to this
I remember going
Uber
to the
driver.
airport and just skimming through some highlights, But I didn't understand UFC. I mean, I didn't understand MMA at that time.
Of course.
I didn't understand
Of
what
course.
takedowns are, what submissions are.
Of course.
Right?
But bro, just think about it that because of people watching the UFC, even like all these independent martial arts are gaining so much like popularity, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I thought that fighting on the floor and all, what is this?
Yeah.
But now I know that it's
You hated
BJJ. I was like, what is this shit?
I remember when me and Rahul started training MMA around 9 months ago, and our coach, who's a judo black belt, said that why don't you
Yeah.
guys start judo also? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And Rahul was like, fuck that shit, dude. Let's just stick to the boxing and the kicking.
You know, just
Fuck all this
stand
grappling.
on your feet, bro.
Fuck all
But
this throwing.
fast forward 9 months, love that shit.
Yeah.
You know, love that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, no sport.
No sport,
No
nah?
sport. No sport.
Crazy, bro.
Crazy.
And
crazy.
it is, from the looks of it, fighting in a cage, 4 rounds gloves, it is brutal.
Brutal.
But it's getting
Bro,
popular.
And you know what I like about it is that almost every fight is a knockout.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what makes it interesting and that's what grips me, bro.
Very good point.
You know?
So I'll tell you the few reasons for the rise of MMA, which is what you said right now. Excitement, right?
Excitement for
So,
sure.
Consistent excitement. Excitement is then NBA, cricket, NFL, all of them. But UFC, MMA has consistent excitement.
Compare that consistent excitement to any combat sport. You can't compare it. You can't compare every second. I would say even in boxing, you'll see one knockout every 3, 4 fights, 5 fights, 6 fights.
Boxing, you see knockouts in heavier classes.
Correct.
And those guys are boring right now.
Correct.
You know, right now it's building up again.
Correct.
Yeah. So anyway, so exciting fights. Consistently exciting fights.
Absolutely.
Second is that 15 to 25 minute fights. 3 rounds and 5 rounds of 5 minutes each, right? So short and quick, right? So exciting, easy to watch. Even if you don't know anything about combat sports, what is grappling, what is punching, what is the right kick, and what is this defense, you can see that this man is bleeding. He just got hit on his face.
Yeah.
What is he's getting choked? He can't breathe. So you that excitement as a viewer without knowing anything about combat sports builds. Whereas when you see a Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao fight, where all your friends are like, dude, this is the greatest fight of the generation. You have to watch it, and then you watch it. Like we showed it to our friend, and he saw it, and he's like, I did not understand anything.
Yeah,
this was so boring. What a waste of my morning.
True. 100%. And knockouts is one of the primary reasons. And then of course there are too many fights that take place in one night, so you can enjoy it from prelims to the main card.
But that's in boxing also.
Yeah, but bro, like even in the prelims there are knockouts, bro. There are only knockouts, and in the prelims you can see these young lions, bro. These young upcoming stars.
Yeah. So that's why they talk about Habib in a way with so much respect, because he's never got cut in a fight.
Yep.
And that's like unheard of.
He's a legend. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
It's unheard of in UFC. So yeah, bro, MMA becoming popular. I got another question for you. That do you think MMA can be a sport introduced in school to like students
110%.
or after curricular
110%.
activity?
110%. You know why? How I would compare this to is, if I had to compare MMA to tennis or football, pros towards MMA are more. I'll tell you why, bro.
Tell me.
Number one is that you are taught how to defend for yourself.
Correct.
So when you're defending for yourself, bro, what happens is that there's no way you'll ever be bullied in school.
Facts.
Because you'll gain that confidence to stand up for yourself.
Self-defense
Number
equals
two,
to self-confidence.
Absolutely. Number two is, you know what, bro, I gave it like a deep thought, bro. Number two is that when you're taking care of your body and your mind through MMA and through rigorous training, it automatically shows in your academics.
Facts, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Number three, bro, is that you're taught what is the bedrock of martial arts, bro? Discipline.
Discipline.
Something that unfortunately we were not taught.
Anushasan.
You know, we were not taught discipline. So in the whole world of martial arts, number one is discipline. You have a sensei. You know, you show respect, and that gets carried forward when
In
you
everything
grow
you do.
older as well, bro.
Not only that, in other activities that you do.
Other activities, and bro, it's very important, because what you grasp at a young age eventually stays with you for the rest of your life.
Very true.
You know, so according to me, there are many pros, but there are also a lot of cons when it comes to MMA, because as a kid, you don't want to get hit on your head, because that will leave an everlasting injury. But in an MMA tournament for children, there is a lot of headgear, and you're not allowed to go for knockouts, and there is no you can't hit the head as a kid.
As a kid,
Yeah.
the parents don't want the kid to be hit in the head.
Correct.
Kid doesn't mind.
Correct.
The kid is like,
But that's the only con I found.
Yeah,
Is
of
that,
course,
bro,
of course.
the only con I found is that, you know, that there should be no impact on the head when you're young because
Yeah,
you're developing.
yeah.
Your brain is developing.
But I'm sure the training for kids is very different than the training for adults. Also, in the training of kids is more strength conditioning. Also, focusing
Functional,
on
lot of
techniques.
functional, lot of stamina building.
And a lot of focus on techniques, right? How to kick, how to be flexible, how to be agile. And there is no sparring when you're a child, right?
Yeah, no sparring allowed.
No sparring. Muay Thai is a different ball game
Muay Thai,
altogether.
bro, Muay Thai is crazy.
It's
Let's put Muay Thai on another, bro.
yeah, Muay Thai is crazy
That's for another discussion.
because children at the age of 12 and 13 have 40, 100, 80, 90,
Madness,
120
bro,
fights.
Madness.
At the age of like 10 to
And bro,
14.
it's so sad. You'll hear news and all, bro, that these young fighters at the age of 11 and 12 are dying,
Yeah.
bro. And since they realize that, okay, you can't put a kid in a cage without a damn head guard, yeah.
Of course
So now
not.
they've made it compulsory
Yeah.
that if there's a kid who's
And no
gonna
elbows
fight,
allowed.
bro, it's mad, bro.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Kids are not allowed to use elbows.
But then again, each to their own, bro. A lot of poverty issues.
lot of issues, bro.
You
And
know,
what happens is basically the kids are sent from villages and they stay in the camp, they stay in the gym,
It's your life.
and it's your life, and you have to make
It's your
money
life.
for the
So yeah, bro. So
to send back to the family.
but all in all, beautiful, bro. Beautiful.
See, I don't see the kids complaining. When you see those documentaries of Muay Thai fighters, you don't see the kids complaining. But coming back to MMA, you must have seen in like America and all, kids are training. And even in India, a lot of MMA gyms you'll see kids, but
Kids
very
are going
few.
in. Yeah.
But
So
there are there.
Let's get to what we experienced in school.
Yeah. Chalo, did you do any form of martial arts when you were growing up?
So I did karate for like 1 month, but I was like, nah, this ain't going to help me. You know?
I did karate for a long time and I hated it.
Yeah, even I did for exactly 1 month,
Yeah.
bro. I bought my gi and all, but I was like, I told my family I ain't going back.
Yeah.
And then I did judo. Yeah, bro, in JBC and same like us.
yeah.
But I don't think that was any training.
Yeah.
I think that was just sparring and beating each other up.
Yeah, that was just beating each
So,
other up. That was just
I think I was not given the right taste of martial arts
like
as a young
technique
kid.
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole
Not proper training.
Yeah, true that.
Because when I see Americans train wrestling, dude, love that. shit.
Right?
Love
The
that
kids are training wrestling in America. Hardcore.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
In high school and all, they start learning weight cutting and all, for fights.
Incredible.
Yeah. So
Incredible.
it's very serious out there. So yeah, in India, in school, we have karate and judo. I didn't have karate in my school, but I did karate after school. I hated it. I did for a long time. I was only a white belt. I think in karate you have stripes. I think I was white belt, 1 stripe or 2 stripes.
Congrats, bro.
I
You
didn't
still
know
got
what
that
I was
belt?
doing. I had zero interest. I used to cry for not going, and my dad would just force me to go. I didn't know what discipline, self-defense. I didn't know what I'm learning. I just knew,
But sometimes now, bro, now that I think about it, now I do regret it. If I did pay a little bit more attention, gave it a little bit more time,
Are you mad?
I would have fallen in love with it,
Bro, I had a very wrong perception of karate. You understand? I thought it was gimmicky.
Same. Bro, I just thought of Jackie Chan.
Yeah. But now when I see those videos of the karate senseis and masters in Japan and what they teach and what karate is all about and what you learn and what is the outcome and what it makes you, it's fucking real.
Absolutely.
I would 100% train karate right now.
And another reason why we did not pay a lot of attention to karate and judo, Devang, is because UFC was not developed.
Not only that, bro. That time football for us was
Yeah,
much more
football.
exciting.
But
Cricket, football.
if we rewind and if we were like that age today and if UFC was as big as it is today, we would be doing that shit with all our gut,
100%.
bro.
100%. That's why the kids growing up today, I'm saying that more and more kids are going to get into MMA.
Exactly. Why? Because of UFC.
Of course. 100%.
Because of UFC.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a fighter now.
Everyone wants, because they're seeing now that this is great,
Including
and I'm
us.
learning a little bit of similar things in school.
Absolutely.
If I put my mind to it,
Absolutely.
And when kids start playing football and they see that this one kid is a little extra good, he has a bright
always.
future.
There's
You know
that
what I'm
one
talking
kid,
about?
bro.
Yeah, I was never that kid.
Who's always the striker? Who's always the striker?
Always.
You know?
Always scoring goals, always
But always scoring goals and always the captain, bro.
always the captain.
Always with the coach.
Yeah.
Coach will call him, you come sit with me.
And like, I suck.
Okay, I suck, bro. I suck, sit on the bench, bro.
Sit on the bench, bro.
Sit your ass down. But major shift major shift of MMA training is now going to be like tennis, like football,
For
like
sure.
basketball, like athletics.
I would definitely put my
Dude, 100%.
daughter,
I'm
son,
raising a damn
yeah.
pit bull, bro.
for sure,
You
for
know?
sure. And talking about that, when do you think we will get to see the first UFC event in India?
I would
Where
say,
will it be?
bro, Devang, to be
Would you
honest with
go?
you, it's going to be very soon.
Hmm.
It's going to be very soon because India has such a, bro, 1.3 billion people, bro.
Mm.
You're understanding? And with a viewership of already 100 million in 2018, big market. So according to me, I think within the next 5 to 8 years. I'm telling you, I'm being optimistic.
But bro, that's the opposite of optimistic.
Bro, 5 to 8 years, bro. Are you mad? Bro, are you mad? That is bro, you know why? I'll tell you.
You just said very soon, Rahul.
Bro, very soon is 5 to 8 years is fine, bro. I'll tell you why.
Your very soon is
Bro,
like the Indian government's
I'll
very
tell you
soon.
why. Because I'll tell you why, bro. According to me, I don't want to divert the topic right now, but according to me, the next destination for the best fighters, I've told you this before, is Nigeria. So after Nigeria is going to be India. I'm telling you this.
Bro, Nigeria has fighters, but they're not going to hold events because Nigeria doesn't have the money what India has. The kind of organized
But trust
events,
me, Devang, trust me on this, bro. If a champion is born out of Nigeria, who's based out of
There are
Nigeria and who has a story,
there are two already.
that will sell.
Kamaru Usman and
bro, but
Israel
Kamaru
Adesanya.
Usman and all are based out of America only,
But
bro.
still the Nigerian.
But I'm saying a guy that's picked up from the dirt, bro, in Nigeria and comes up and fucking holds the title. That is when
There's Francis
there will be a
Ngannou.
fight, bro. That's Cameroon.
Whatever. I'm just saying.
But see, according to me,
Why do you think, one second, why do you think there are fights in Abu Dhabi? I'm curious to understand.
because it's in the center.
No, bro.
Yeah.
Many other places are in the center. You think Europe is not in the center?
Bro, Abu Dhabi, because firstly, so that I don't think anyone would want to host fights in the
Rahul,
pandemic,
no,
but
no.
Abu
Rahul,
Dhabi.
It's cash.
It's cash only, na, bro. That's what I'm saying. It all
Listen,
adds up.
Don't get it twisted. It's cash.
USA did not allow fucking Dana White to host fights in the fights for UFC.
no,
That's why he went to Abu Dhabi,
But
na?
Abu Dhabi, the fights have happened before also. Dustin Poirier and Khabib last fight was in Abu Dhabi. Why do you think it was in Abu Dhabi, not Russia? Cash. So Nigerians will become champions. Cameroon people will become champions. But unlikely right now that there will be an organized
But we got the
event
Yahoo
there.
boys, bro.
Yahoo boys,
We
that's
got the
what-
Yahoo boys,
And Yahoo
bro.
boys fly around the
You know,
world.
we got the Yahoo
Private
boys,
jet.
but where do they take the money back? To Nigeria.
Dubai, na?
No, bro. From Dubai, where is the money going back always? They're
They're going back
investing
to
it back to
Nigeria?
Nigeria,
Okay,
bro. Nigeria, bro. See, but always, according to me, okay, let's get back to the question. 5
Event
to 8
in
years.
India.
5 to 8 years.
You were saying 5 to 8 years, and where would the event happen?
The event would happen in one of the metro cities, of course, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore.
No, name one.
Mumbai first.
Mumbai.
Of course, because I'm from Mumbai, you're from Mumbai. We want the fight to happen in Mumbai.
Would you go?
100%. But I'm definitely not. I don't want it to be like an NSCI event.
Bro, I was going to root for NSCI.
I don't want it to be like an NSCI event because
Indoors, AC.
I want it to be bigger, bro. I want it to be a carnival. You understanding? I want it to be like larger than life, bro.
So
More
box-
than just 15,000 people. I want 50,000 people
Box-
because we want an Indian champion to fight for the belt.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say. I think it's going to happen when an Indian champion is born. When an Indian superstar is born. I want it to happen obviously in Mumbai. And boxing events have happened in outdoor stadiums. But I don't think a UFC event has happened in the outdoor stadium. I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Where was the GSP fight, bro?
Indoor stadium. Hockey stadium.
50,000?
Hockey stadium.
Indoor 50,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, but I think. I've seen boxing fights like the sun coming down on the fighter and all, but I've not seen.
But
it's possible.
But in India, it's possible.
In India, it's possible because I remember I went for WWE in MMRDA.
Outdoor,
baby. Come and see.
Then
no stands and all, bro. Flat. Flat on the mud.
basically you can't see only. If you're far and out, you can't see only.
Yeah, people were jumping, na? So there was a 2,000 rupee ticket, 5,000 rupee ticket, and VIP, right? So the 2,000 people were jumping.
Jumping
into
in
the-
5,000 were jumping in VIP.
And there was a 800 rupee one also.
Useless.
They
Oh,
were
look at the screen.
All of them had come into 2,000.
Oh.
Yeah. All of them had jumped the fence.
Oh.
Yeah. It was the fence like this.
That's
high.
what I want. We should hope it's a riot. You understanding?
Yeah, so they never come again.
And if our Indian superstar wins, na bro, it has to be the same celebration as we won the World Cup. You understanding?
So before you said 5 to 8 years now, I was going to be super optimistic. And
What were
say-
you gonna say,
I
fam?
was going to say 3 years, but now...
Think
now-
about it, bro.
Now I thought about it. And I think you're right.
Now say now. Oh shit! 5 to 8
No, because you said, the way you said, you were like, I'm going to be optimistic.
What,
think
you
it's
thought
gonna
next
be,
year?
I think it's going to be very soon. I thought you'll say 2-3 years.
No.
You know? But you
It
said
needs
5
some
to 8
time.
years.
It needs some time.
Yeah, so I was going to say 3 years, but now thinking logically, I think you're right. It's going to take
5
that
to 8
much
years,
time.
bro. But when it happens, no, bro.
But
India will be on the map, bro. for
UFC
MMA.
gyms have opened in Delhi, Punjab,
Exactly,
Mumbai
bro,
opening.
Exactly. Let's talk about how we are also breeding some top fighters.
Yeah. So UFC is already putting the
They have
foundation in
to.
India.
They have to.
Yeah. You were telling me about that one fighter.
So basically, what I was telling you
The
is
Indian
that
guy.
they were so the first Indian to ever debut in the UFC, Bharat Kandare, fought in 2017.
No. The
Who?
the
Okay, of course, Arjan Bullar.
Huh.
Arjan Bullar, bro, Indo, but he's a.
He came to promote UFC,
Yeah,
no?
Indian Canadian fighter who fought in the 2012
Yeah.
Olympics also.
And
for
UFC
wrestling.
sent him to-
Kushti great, bro. He's
Yeah.
big in Kushti.
Yeah.
UFC sent him for a tour, bro. So UFC are sending fighters now to India.
yeah
That you guys go hold these programs. They're sending scouts, bro.
Scouts,
That's
exactly.
where the whole game
Yeah.
changes. When the scouts start coming now to
Yeah.
India, bro, that's when you know shit's getting real.
yeah. And then the Indian fighter, the first and only Indian fighter.
Yeah, bro. I didn't know
fought.
this, bro.
Yeah, even I didn't know
never thought that an Indian fighter actually performed
Yeah,
in the
even
UFC.
I didn't know this.
So,
I just saw his fight today.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy and respect, bro.
Respect,
His
respect.
story commendable.
He's from Nagpur or Nasik?
Yeah, bro.
Nagpur or Nasik?
I think Nagpur.
Okay.
I think Nagpur. But bro, his story is commendable. 2017, we did not know, bro.
I had no idea.
And this was not in the news.
Yeah.
Like if it was in the news, he would know about it.
Yeah.
But 2017, this man named Bharat Kandare fights in the UFC.
Yeah. Crazy.
And unfortunately loses, but he loses because he was told to jump 10 pounds up.
Yeah.
So he was not fighting in his weight class.
Yeah.
So of course he lost in the first round because of a guillotine choke.
Yeah.
And
was a
after
bad
that, bro, unfortunately I was reading a story, bro, very sad.
Very sad, yeah.
Because a lot of bad events happened to
He
him.
got caught by USADA, na?
Yeah, bro, he got caught by USADA, but before that also, bro, he was scheduled to fight again.
Hmm.
Bro, torn ligament. You're understanding?
I've gone through the same.
Torn
bro.
ligament,
As an
bro.
athlete,
As an athlete,
I've
brother.
gone through
As
the
an
same.
athlete, yeah?
my ligament also.
Bro, you'll make a
Still,
comeback, bro.
yeah.
You're the superstar we are talking about, bro.
Let's go!
That's why I don't want you to fight in NSCI, Deva.
Okay.
You know?
I'll
So-
fight in my mind, you know?
Bro, no, bro.
In the night, in my
VKC,
dreams.
VKC, yeah. So, of course, bro, torn ligament, and then, bro, everything just went downhill for the poor guy. Failed a drug test, banned for 2 years. Bro, look at the coincidence. His fucking ban ends this month.
This month,
So
yeah.
he was banned in 2018 November, 2020 November. As of this month, his ban has ended. But bro, this is crazy. You know why? Because people are not talking about this. He's already gone out to the media and said that, dude, I have an opportunity to go back to the UFC and fight again, but I don't have cash.
Yeah.
And nobody's willing to sponsor me, bro. His profession is a municipal worker.
Yeah.
And of course, bro, as we all know, bro, Kushti is the biggest.
Yeah.
Wrestling in India is the biggest. He was a Kushti fighter. But while he was venturing into MMA, bro, you know, he was a sweeper, bro.
Oh, damn.
He was a road sweeper, bro.
Oh, damn.
So, bro, what a story. Make a movie out of this shit.
Incredible. And also, obviously, it's because of his that failed drug test. But the failed drug test is a very simple story of this. His doctor did
Yep.
not know he's an active.
He's an athlete.
Athlete, and his he prescribed him some medicines with some banned ingredient or something, you know, and he got caught because of that. He obviously it's his
Now, see, bro,
carelessness.
benefit of the doubt, we'll give it to him.
No, because
But you're an athlete.
John Jones went through a worse thing and he made a comeback. Like nobody hates John Jones. you
Bro,
know?
and 2 years is a long time.
Yeah.
You know, 2 years is a long
Yeah.
And bro, at this moment, he's 31.
Yeah.
But you know what, bro? It's absolutely messed up
Yeah.
that the media is not talking about this and funds are not being raised for
But
this guy.
Rahul, now for example, why will the media talk about it when nobody is wanting to listen about it, right?
Bro,
In
like,
India, people don't want to watch anything except cricket.
the community.
The football community in India is so small.
Bro, I am glad, today I am glad that me and you are talking about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's something that's worth talking about.
And think about it, bro. The tennis, the football, the hockey community, all these are huge, big
Huge,
sports,
huge,
mainstream
huge.
sports, but the
Huge.
community is so small. The viewers are smaller than the amount of players playing the game.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
So everybody only watches cricket.
Cricket, bro. Cricket. But trust
Indians
me,
will
bro,
watch more
trust me.
international cricket, as in Australia playing England. Then they'll watch India
It's
playing
very
hockey.
sad, bro. It's unfortunately very sad
Yeah.
because being a UFC fan and being an MMA fan and a follower
Yeah.
and a student of the sport as well now.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's our duty to talk about, bro,
Mm-hmm.
somebody who's already fought in the UFC and is facing struggles right now.
Yeah.
Because he says, you know what, he trains in Florida, bro, a very famous gym.
Yeah.
And he reached out to the gym and the gym owner said that you're more than welcome to come and train with us, but the fee is going to be 6 lakh rupees. Now, for somebody who works for the government and apparently he's not being given leaves, so he's taking unpaid leaves to fly out.
Yeah.
He doesn't have money, bro. And UFC, for an active fighter, only pays like $10,000 to $5,000 for a fighter of his level, Deva.
He's a prelim fighter, yeah.
You know? So it's very sad, but I hope he makes it.
Bro, it would be a dream come
You know?
true
Bro, for somebody who...
for an Indian
Bro,
guy to hold the belt.
From sweeping the roads to holding the belt. What
Imagine,
a story.
bro, what a story.
What a goosebumps.
Yeah, small town
Goosebumps.
from Maharashtra gone
Goosebumps.
and won a belt in
Goosebumps.
the UFC. It would
Goosebumps.
be madness.
Madness.
Madness,
But
bro.
more power to him, bro, you know. I hope he makes it back into the UFC.
Bro, the only time I would be super excited to go watch a live fight in like Abu Dhabi or somewhere was only if there was an Indian fighter.
100%.
You know,
100%.
like I liked watching all fighters, Izzy and Paulo Costa and John Jones and all of them.
Great.
Habib and whatnot, but I would not pay money and watch it live.
Bro,
But if it was an Indian fighter, I would like
of your race,
want
bro,
to
you
go,
know, bro.
bro.
You know, bro.
paint the
You
flag on the cheeks, bro.
know. Damn, bro. Of course, bro. I'm repping that t-shirt.
Yeah,
You
bro.
know, I'm repping that tee. You know? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, bro. So waiting for the next Indian superstar to be born.
100%. But Devang, you were telling me something about the one. Like a lot of Indian fighters are now...
Yeah. A lot of Indian MMA
Yeah.
stars are being promoted by one championship. Ritu Fogart.
Yes.
She is the
Yes.
youngest of the Dangal
Yes.
sisters.
Yes.
Straight killer.
Straight killer, huh?
Straight killer. Her watching her fights is like amazing to see. It's not boring. She's super good. Okay. Then there was another fighter called Pooja. I forgot her name, the full name, but her first name is Pooja.
So primarily they are all wrestlers.
I think so, bro. I think
Yeah.
so. I think so.
Because even like, so for example, even Bharat
Yeah.
is a wrestler.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
You know?
You're right. But
So the foundation is
Yeah.
wrestling.
but you know Sushil Kumar?
Bro, legend.
I think his body is the best
Bro.
athletic body out
bro,
there.
and you know what's his weight? You just guess.
66 kilos.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Bro, 66. But I think he's short, huh?
He's short, but Rahul, just see his shoulders.
Incredible, bro.
Bro,
Incredible.
his body is inspiring because it's natural. He's an Olympic athlete. You know, there's nothing he's taking because he's
Incredible.
getting tested
Incredible.
any and every time.
And for that body, bro, which we'll of course talk about more later, about Kushti and wrestling.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, but okay, let's go to Kushti. Think about it, bro. I think Indians who are going to go into UFC, going to get into MMA, the kids, like we talk about kids doing judo and MMA, right? Kids are actually doing Kushti in India. Nothing happens in Mumbai.
But Dave, I'll tell you something. Very small portion.
No, bro.
Bro, very small
We don't know
portion.
about it, but out there, it happens. Kids start very young. We just don't know about it because in Bombay and all
But
metropolitan
Devang,
cities,
you know, again,
kids are soft.
100%. They're soft. And you know what, bro? Kids in metros now, bro, have disposable income. So they are willing to go for these glorified sports. Boxing, MMA. Kushti, I don't want to fight in the sand.
Yeah.
Man. You crazy?
Yeah.
You crazy?
Yeah.
I'd rather do judo.
Yeah.
But one thing that I don't understand is that you're teaching judo and karate, which is a culture of another country.
Yeah.
When you already have a strong martial arts like Kushti, I think you need to teach Indian children an Indian culture, bro, an Indian martial art that is from India.
Of course. And basically, Kushti has a lot of potential because the next level is Kushti on the mats, which takes you to the Olympics.
Then-
right?
And then from the Olympics, where? You're fucking at the one or in the UFC, dude.
Exactly. And Ritu Fogart,
Hmm.
her two sisters are the Dangal sisters, na? Geeta and Babita. So she's also coming from a wrestling background. I think what happens is wrestling really makes you tough, right? So if you just learn striking, okay, you learn the techniques and all of that. But I think wrestling, the kind of workouts they do, your cardio and your conditioning goes to another level. Everybody has those cauliflower ears, if you notice.
So the whole
It just makes you tough.
bro,
You can take the hits.
Bro, Devang, the whole system of Kushti na is beautiful. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Number one is that you have to. It's like a whole sensei sort of setup.
Yeah.
That you have a guruji.
Martial
Okay,
art.
you have a guruji, like a gurukul setup. We've spoken about this in the educational podcast.
Yes.
It's like a very gurukul sort of setup. You have to live in what they call as the akhara.
Yeah.
It's the akhara system.
Yeah.
You're told to live in the gym. Firstly, bro, why I think Sushil Kumar's body is incredible is because every Pelwan is vegetarian.
Yeah.
They are not allowed to eat non-vegetarian.
Ghee, doodh or almonds.
Sattvic, they call it a Sattvic diet.
Sattvic,
diet. Bro, it's crazy because what happens is that their
Badam.
bro,
Ghee, doodh or
bro,
badam.
their diet is fucking
Madness.
Madness. And another thing is that, of course, they wake up at 4 in the morning. Apparently, now they first thing that they have to do is pray to Hanuman. After that, they have to dig into the whole wrestling soil where they perform. After that, bro, they have to perform
Warm up.
1,000 Hindu push-ups.
Dund.
Okay, and then what they call betties, which we call as squats, 1,000 betties, and then they have to spa for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And after that, they go to work to their daily jobs, and then in the evening you repeat.
Yeah. And also,
Incredible, bro.
you said these 1,000. There's also climbing ropes.
Climbing, correct. I missed that.
Okay. Then the shoulder, the gada.
Yes.
All of that.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying. It makes you strong. And any kushti fighter, any Pelwan you'll see that
Bro.
their body is fucking. Even if you see them with a belly, you see that there's muscle right under the skin. That's not fat. He's a big guy, but there's no fat. He's a powerful guy.
I'm telling you, bro. Just look at this Arjan Bullar guy. He looks like a wrestler, bro. A wrestler who's now sparring with DC,
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I think the next Indian superstar UFC fighter will come out of wrestling.
Yes.
He'll come out of the akhada.
But bro, I'm as per my reading and my research, wrestling in India is dying. Like something that we as
But
Indians
now, of late, in the last 10 years, there's been a surge because medals
correct
are coming.
Correct, medals are coming.
Olympic medals
Correct.
are coming,
Correct.
Sushil Kumar got 2.
And
Another guy, Yogeshwar, I think his name is.
a lot of, bro.
Yeah,
like if you go and see right now the top 10 women wrestlers in the world dominated by Indians, bro.
Dominated by Indians?
Dominated by Indians.
So that's a great sign.
Indians are dominating. Women
That's a great sign.
are dominating the wrestling scene.
That's a
The
great
Indian,
sign.
And another thing is that it doesn't pay, na, bro. If you win a kushti fight, na, bro, you earn 500 rupees. And you know what's a diet?
It doesn't pay.
You have to spend a minimum of 20,000
It doesn't
rupees
pay. It doesn't pay.
just on your diet.
So basically, the akhadas, the gurus, they sort you out with the food and everything.
But
You
for
just
how
come and
long,
train.
bro?
And they're very strict. Like Olympics did a documentary on Indian kushti. It's beautiful.
Wow, I don't know about this.
Yeah. And one पहलवान says that हमारे गुरुजी बोलते हैं कि एक दिन का प्रैक्टिस छूट गया तो आप 2 हफ्ता पीछे चल गए. ओलंपिक्स में जाना है तो रोज.
So it's basically the Olympics that's keeping the sport alive.
Of course, Olympics is the dream, na?
Yeah.
It's a pinnacle.
100%.
There is Commonwealth. There are so many World Wrestling Federation.
But Commonwealth also, bro. Like a lot of Indians have won in wrestling.
Of course, gold.
Gold.
Yeah.
Sushil Kumar.
Even in World Wrestling Championship or something,
Yeah.
Indians have won gold.
Bro, Indians are known for kushti, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's bro, it's so sad, bro. Like today, if you go on Google and you type, where can I fucking learn kushti in Mumbai? Nothing pops
No, there
up,
is
very few places.
There is mat wrestling. There is not.
But bro, mud wrestling.
No, mud wrestling. What happens is it doesn't make sense for everybody. No, it's not practical. In the city,
See, that's why I said, bro, for kushti in the metros will not work.
kushti in the
Because
metros
we
will
are
not-
too spoiled.
No, it'll be kushti on the mat. Yeah.
Bro, you gotta do it in the right way.
No, it depends. Even now out there also, Haryana and also they practice mat. Like kids and all.
I'm talking about a legit one.
But now what happens is now you're getting a place on rent. You're not going to make a whole thing. It's the environment that makes a space.
Fair enough.
sport, you know. But
it's that whole
No,
that
why-
whole story, bro? You know,
but
like
in
you do it right.
The mud kushtina has no money. That's why mat has become so popular. So like you in that documentary only that they show a small young kid and he says that it was I started doing everything on the mud. But it was always my dream to fight on the mat. And today I'm sponsored and I can
Because he
finally
must be-
practice on the mats. And he's lanky, he's thin, he's like 14, 12 years old.
Man's killing it though.
He's killing it, bro. And he's so happy that I love to fight on the mats. Or I'm going to go to the Olympics one day.
But that's why Devang, I compare it to like wrestling in America is such a glorified sport.
Wrestling is a glorified sport in America because it's very big. It has huge viewership.
Huge,
For example, if you're a state champion from your high school, it's like the whole country knows about you.
Basically blue tick.
You understand? It's a blue
tick.
Yeah. And whereas that kind of popularity is not there in India in anything other than cricket.
Correct.
So today you score a hat trick also now for your
That's
state.
true, bro. That's
You're
true.
a championship
That's true.
captain of a football team also, hockey team also.
Bro, when it comes to
Doesn't
sport
matter.
in India, Devang, it has to be cricket.
It's only cricket. So the money is there only in cricket. You understand?
But bro, can I be honest with you? I'm bored of watching cricket. I'm
But
bored,
you were never a fan of cricket also.
I'm
na?
bored of watching cricket, bro. Change. I want something new.
So you know the Indian gold medalist Abhinav Bindra, the shooting gold medalist. So he said that basically I did not win the gold medal out of irony. When you want to win a gold medal in the Olympics, you need a lot of money. My father comes from a lot of wealth, and I had a setup.
Wait a second. Now it makes
In my
sense.
house.
Now it makes sense why he has so many of these Abhinav Bindra institutes.
Yes.
Where my own
For the
brother
kids.
went in Pune also. There's one.
Yes.
And it's apparently, bro, top of
Yes.
the line.
So that's what he says. He's like, firstly, there is a reason why a lot of Indians are not winning. You know, people say that, oh, India is such a big country and billions of people, but hardly any gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist. There's a reason why, because there's no
Money,
facilities. If you don't train at that international level, at that next level, to compete with the greatest of the great, you're not going to win any medals. So he's like, I won it because my father comes from great wealth. I had the whole setup at my house.
Wow.
So I was practicing every day.
Wow.
I had a trainer, I had a coach.
Wow.
Now tell me which 12, 11, 10-year-old kid is going to have this in India. So you're like, it's very simple. I'm not gifted genetically, I don't have some.
Bro, it's all
God-given
about,
gift.
bro. Gifting will only take you so far, bro. But what takes you to the next level is
And now
practice.
he's doing his bit, as you said.
Exactly. He's opening institutes, bro. That's why I'm saying, bro, India's on the rise, bro.
Yeah, he has this sports complex where he gets all kinds of.
So my brother was
athletes.
telling me that it's so intense that you have to go and train twice a day. He's a cricketer. So he apparently had a very bad ACL. Just like you. Yeah, bro. And yesterday itself, he again dislocated his knee, bro.
Ouch.
Again, he dislocated his knee. He's currently in Breach Candy.
Oh, God.
And he
damn.
came back from Abhinav Bindra like 2 weeks back. Bro, he was telling me that the training there is so crazy and so phenomenal that the diet is on point.
Oh, diet?
Bro, they give you everything. They give you food. And bro, you're told to do these crazy exercises. Like you have all these treadmills and all these
Equipment,
tests, and they'll tell you like, okay, which part
Aqua
of
treadmill.
your body is weak, which part of your body is overdeveloped, and then when you leave, and then when you leave, bro, there's something known as an athlete rating.
Whoa.
Yes, bro. Yes. So when he came back, he told me, bro, I'm normal. I'm not athlete yet.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So they rate you.
Oh, fuck. They rate you to a
They rate you
regular
like, are you an
citizen
athlete or are you normal?
Oh, shit.
So that's crazy.
That's crazy,
That's
bro.
crazy. And bro, he has institutes all over India. Not only in Pune, but
So he's
all
doing
over
his
India.
bit. He's
doing
doing his
and
bit.
it's bro crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And talking about Indian martial arts, going to another martial arts that's developed from a Akhada system is also known as the mother of all martial arts. One of the oldest martial arts in the world called Kalaripayattu.
True.
And
True that.
it comes from Kerala. And I showed you some videos,
You've bro, I did not know about Kalari, but you got me interested in that shit.
So
I'll tell you that.
we saw this one lovely video of this granny,
Yeah.
a 74-year-old
dude.
granny called Mrs. Meenakshi.
Incredible,
Another
bro.
gangster.
Shocking.
Another gangster at 74 years old. What she does with weapons and she's sparring with men is incredible to see.
Absolutely shocking.
Yeah. But now I'm going to tell you another story. Okay, which is a very famous story in terms of Kalaripayattu, because how it's why there's an argument that it is the oldest martial arts, or it's one of the oldest martial arts, is because in the 479 AD or 467
Oh,
AD.
we're going that back, huh?
Yeah, like really long time ago. The prince of Pallava in the south, his name was Bodhidharma. He was trained under the 27th patriarch. So that is the lineage of Lord Buddha. Okay, a direct trainee, disciple of Lord Buddha, the 27th. Prajnatara. Okay, and there's a argument if that's a male or a female. It's not proven yet. So Bodhidharma trained Ayurveda, Kalaripayat, and Buddhism and spirituality under the 27th in lineage to Lord Buddha. When that person died, when his guru died, okay, the dream of the guru was for Buddhism to expand into other countries. But by that time, Buddhism had already gone to China, Malaysia, and all of these places, Vietnam, and all of that. Right? So, Bodhidharma, he said that I don't care for becoming a king. Okay? And Pallava was a huge state. It's like the almost whole of South India is Pallava, the region. Okay? So, by sea, he went to China.
Wow.
Okay? 3 years it took him. True story, yeah? And factual evidence in China and India and everywhere. Okay, so he went to spread Buddhism.
Incredible.
Okay, when he went to China, he saw that everyone is building Buddhist temples. Everyone is doing so many things and trying to show kind gestures, and everything is a thing to do for becoming enlightened.
Correct.
And he realized that nobody is looking inside. Inner spirituality is dead. People think that you need temples to grow inside within you. So when he was invited to a monastery, he literally went and meditated for 4 hours in front of an audience.
Wow. Whoa.
And everyone was whispering that, what is happening? What is this? Are we going to listen to anything? Is he going to say anything? He's going to teach us anything? He's come from India. He's the 28th disciple of Lord Buddha direct.
28th, huh?
Yeah. After 27th, So he did not say a word. For 4-5 hours, he just meditated and he left.
Wow.
And that got people thinking. Eventually, he went to the Shaolin temple. Listen to this. True story. Is there factual? You can
Incredible.
Google it. He went to the Shaolin temple. And I think he was not allowed to enter inside. So he went to a cave on a mountain next to the Shaolin temple. He looked at the cave. He looked at the wall of the cave and started to meditate. He meditated in that cave for 9 years.
What?
He meditated in that cave.
Wait.
Bodhidharma. Check him out.
9
Legend.
years.
For 9 years, he meditated in that cave. People used to go and see him and come out. There was a time when it was minus 22.
Wow.
Right? Basically, they say that his meditation was so deep and so hard. And he was looking at the wall, not looking at the scenery, not looking outside the cave, that his silhouette was imprinted on the stone. Oh. And that stone is still there and is worshipped in China.
Oh.
In China today, you go and you ask an average citizen, about Bodhidharma, they know the whole story.
Incredible. What a story.
Okay. And not only that, okay, so he meditated for 9 years, and his first disciple, who was like severely hungry, he was like really into Buddhism, but he was saying, I can't pacify my mind, I can't like solve my life mysteries. I don't know, my mind is all around the place. But he couldn't get Bodhidharma out of his meditation. Okay. So what he did is he removed his sword. Okay. He cut his arm.
Bro, come on.
Yeah. As a show of sacrifice, that I don't need anything. This is a show of sacrifice. Bodhidharma then got out of meditation and looked at him and said, okay, what do you need? Okay. He said, I need to pacify my mind. And I want the answers from you. So he said, okay. And he took him as the first disciple.
Wow.
After 9 years of meditating, they went into the Shaolin temple. He was invited then to the Shaolin temple.
No shit.
Okay. Listen to this.
He better take over the Shaolin temple after that.
He is known as the legend of Shaolin temple. And he's also, listen to this, the first Grand Master of Shaolin temple. because when he went to the Shaolin Temple, okay,
Whoa, wait. An Indian is the first
Yes.
grandmaster.
okay, so you know the word Zen?
Yes.
Where do you think that comes from?
Zen mode.
Yeah, you know where the word Zen comes from?
Where?
It comes from the Chinese word Chan,
Okay.
okay, and that Chinese word Chan comes from the Indian word Dhyan.
Wow, Devang, you spitting some fucking knowledge today. I'm shocked, bro. I'm crazy, bro. I'm shocked right now. I can't believe it, bro. I can't believe this shit.
And this is a very well-known story. Huh? It's a very
It's crazy.
famous
It's
story.
crazy because
It's
I don't know about this.
Yeah, it's a very famous story. And it's a
Incredible.
Yeah, I'll get it back to Kalari Payat, but I'll tell you the story.
Go ahead, bro.
So yeah, so it comes the word Zen, Zazen, Zen, Chan, the same meaning, and Dhyan is the same thing, right? So he wanted to go to the Shaolin Temple and teach them Dhyan. He wanted to show them that it's all inside you.
Focus.
Everything is inside you. External doesn't matter. Because I think...
And that's what he tried to do when he was meditating for 4 hours at that ceremony. Is
Yes.
that okay? Meditation is what
Meditation.
counts.
It's all inside you. You don't need to build temples. Answer is here.
Which is true, huh?
You know what I'm saying?
Which is true.
And I think at that time in China, it was Confucius era. And I think Confucius was all about the external. And this guy was all about the internal. So I think he was a philosopher.
Are you
something.
internal or external before you carry on?
Now it's a known fact. Internal is the right. It's the keys, you know. So, yeah, bro. So he went to teach Dhyan in the Shaolin Temple. And he realized these monks are so lanky and so weak that they'll not be able to meditate at the intensity that they need to.
Bro, can I ask you a question? 9 years continuous.
9 years. Listen to this. The story gets more and more intense. Okay. So he realized that these monks are so weak that their meditation, their dhyan, the deep dhyan that they need to do, where they don't need to feel hungry, they don't need to feel that minus 22 degree weather.
Control it with your breathing,
Okay.
boss.
Yeah. So he went to teach them the breathing of Ayurveda.
That's the real power. huh?
Yeah. So breathing, concentration, focus, the dhyan. Okay. So the breathing exercises are to focus. So he started teaching them breathing exercises. He realized that these guys are too weak. And then he started teaching them Kalari Payat and the exercises of the Indian martial arts and the Indian martial way. And from there is a story that Kung Fu originated from there. Because Kung Fu comes from the Shaolin Temple.
Whoa.
And to prove this, inside the Shaolin
Wow.
Temple, there are portraits of a dark brown man teaching white Chinese men
Bro, are you serious?
exercises. There are portraits, there are pictures in the Shaolin Temple.
Salud.
Okay. Not only that,
Incredible story.
The cave.
Incredible story.
the cave is now a temple with the whole story written
with
in
his
English.
with his whole body carved towards the stone. That
You can
people
go and
now-
light an agarbatti, and there's a whole written thing in English of how this one guy came from India and taught the martial way.
Bro, I'm not lying. I'm getting goosebumps, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not lying to you right
Yeah.
now. I'm not lying to you right
yeah.
now.
So
Incredible.
not only that, there is a monastery and there is like his statues are all over. There's that stone what I was talking about. That stone is also there. They pray to that. Chinese people know of this guy as like common knowledge. He's widely popular in Japan. He is insanely popular in Japan.
From China to Japan.
He is insanely popular because there's stories that he went to Japan also. But it's not proved. Okay? It's not proved because they said that they tried to kill him in China only. So you know how its story goes, bro, when he came to China, okay? Before this, like the concept was about Indian martial arts and how he went and taught, because he was an expert in Ayurveda and Kalari Payat. He went and he saw the monks couldn't do the dhyan, so he taught them Kalari Payat and the ways. And Kung Fu was developed based on that. It's not Kung Fu's Kalari Payat. You know, there's development.
Basically, it's more detailed into... So,
Right.
So, yeah, of course.
So-
there are parts of Kalari in Kung Fu. There are parts of Kung Fu in Kalari.
Like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is developed from the basis of Judo and Nevaza
Correct.
from Judo.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
It's a known fact.
Correct. Basically, you can say that Kalari is an inspiration.
It is.
It is.
Okay. And there are paintings of this guy. There's a monastery. There are shrines
Wow.
of this guy. They pray to him. They know of him. There are Chinese names to him. He's widely famous in Japan, Korea, and Vietnam.
Wow.
But Japan, he's too famous because he's become like a doll.
No way.
Yeah. And he was not a very handsome looking man, you know. And also when he went to China first, he was invited by the Emperor Wu because Emperor Wu was a big believer of Buddhism. He was such a big believer of Buddhism. I think he was promoting vegetarianism in China that time.
Bro. I wish that was true, bro. I wish that worked, bro. Come on.
So he was promoting vegetarianism in China, and he was promoting Buddhism in China by building thousands and thousands and thousands of temples. Apparently, when Bodhidharma went to China, there were already 2 million or 1 million Buddhist monks. That is around 5% of the population of that place.
Wow.
And yeah, bro.
Bro, what a story.
He
bro.
met
Incredible.
the king. He met the king, and the king asked him that, "See, I've done all this. When am I going to reap the benefits?" So obviously he
The
gave.
king told.
The king asked Bodhidharma. He invited him, "Please come." And Bodhidharma gave an answer as a enlightened priest.
What did he say?
Like the vague spiritual answers that you shall receive or whatever.
When it
you
comes,
know?
it comes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, I think he said never. He said it's not about that.
Bro,
So the
that's
king
a
got
great
upset.
Answer. That's a great answer.
The king
Don't
got
tell
upset
me
and
he
sent
almost
him.
killed him.
No, the king got upset and sent him. And then, so basically, when he arrived into China, this was his second part of China, right? When the king called him.
When he became famous.
Yeah. But when he came to China, first he learned the language because he knew he had to learn the language to promote Buddhism, right? So the first village he went to, the astrologers of the village had predicted that something bad is going to come to this village, So when they saw this brown-looking man, almost a bald head and beard and big guy and with a jhola, so they were like, this is the wrong guy. So they kicked him out. They were like, just get out of here. So when he left, everybody thought that, okay, chalo, the bad thing has
The
come
bad
has gone.
omen is gone.
But actually the bad omen was like a epidemic, like a disease like smallpox. You get like boils and pimples.
Correct.
So at that time when you used to get those kind of diseases, they would take the kids or infected people and put them into the forest and come back. Because everybody, if it's affected, everyone will lie. Right? So they'll just take the infected, put them, quarantine them into the forest and let them be, ke chalo, gaya to gaya kind of a scene. So with Ayurveda, there are stories that he cured those people in the forest, got them back, and the whole village fell in love
Bro,
with
what
him.
are you saying?
The whole village
Why
fell in
isn't
love
there a
with him.
damn movie on this shit?
There is a movie.
Oh, shit. I'm shocked. Today, I'm shocked.
In China, there are 100 movies on him.
Bro, can you link this to me?
Bro, there are Chinese names for him. Now he's become so Chinese that now his paintings are just like a dark Chinese gentleman.
No. Don't do that to us.
Yeah, now his looks have, like, they make him look Chinese.
So basically, Indians have been legends, huh?
Bro, this
Indians have been legends.
this is a true story.
Incredible
This
story.
is a true story.
Incredible.
If you just type the origins of Kung Fu, this is a story that there can be this, that this is
Wow,
a history. And also in the Shaolin Temple, what I told you, there are paintings, references of him teaching Kung Fu or teaching exercise or Kalari Payat to the Chinese people. It's painted that a brown gentleman is there. His shrine is there in the cave. People go to visit that. All of that is true.
Bro, we gotta go one day, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Bro,
For
but,
sure.
but all in all, Devang, Kalari is
Can you imagine?
the first.
Yeah.
That means, huh?
Yeah.
Something that came out of India is
Yeah.
the first martial art to ever
Bodhidharma,
exist,
bro.
huh?
Yeah, they said that
Incredible, bro.
he looked like a barbarian because he was not very pleasing to the eye.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in Shaolin Temple, when he first came, they
Bro,
made
but
him
like he preached, bro, it's not what's on the outside, it's what
it's
on,
all
the inside, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's the history of Kalari, bro.
Damn,
Kalari
dude.
Payat. Yeah.
Incredible, bro.
It's super old. And yeah, bro, India has lots of forms of martial arts, but all
Yeah.
are, as we know, weapons based.
Weapon based, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But bro, what a fucking story. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
You took me, bro. I was like in China right now.
Yeah. But this is a very famous story, bro. This is a very, very.
But bro, I don't know about it.
Yeah. Like few facts, even when I read, I was shocked about the temple. But
Bro,
I had read that this Indian guy had gone.
You know, out of this whole
Michael J. White also had said something about this.
So the whole where this shocks me, Devang, is firstly is that Kalari is a martial art that possibly or is the first martial art that was introduced to the world.
Yeah.
Number one is this is what shocked me.
Yeah.
Number two is that an Indian man ventures off, goes to China to
By sea, not by
sea,
road.
by sea. And if it's by sea, I'm guessing it's alone.
Yeah.
So he lands into China. When he goes to China, of course, he's shocked. And the Chinese are shocked that who's this brown man? Turned down, meditates for 9 years, bro. Shocking. 9 years, huh?
So I'll tell you the story.
Bro,
about
9
this.
years is something that is
I'll tell you a story
is
about his
godlike.
meditation. So
Is
basically,
godlike.
so when I say this now, it's like sayings, right? How we talk about our gods, our holy men, right? That these miraculous things would happen.
It's godlike.
It's godlike, right? So like that, there are stories about him in Chinese scripture, in books and all of that. That basically, when he was doing dhyan, when he was meditating in those 9 years, he would fall asleep, and it was unacceptable by him that he doesn't have a focus, a concentration to keep himself awake. So you know what he did? With a sword, he cut his eyebrows off, as in the skin, the eyelids off.
Wow.
He cut his eyelids off. Okay. He cut his eyelids off, and the eyelids fell down. And the story is, I'm not joking, this is a story. I'm not saying this is a fact. I'm saying this is a story. Where his eyelids fell, the first green tea plant grew. And that's why Buddhist monk have green tea.
Bro, you're shocking me.
Listen to me.
You're shocking me right now.
This is the reason why Buddhist monk have green tea to stay awake.
You're shocking me right now, bro.
This is the story.
Ink, bro.
This is the story.
I need to see these movies.
Yeah. There's a
First off.
movie on it. There are many documentaries. There are many Indians telling you
Incredible,
that
bro.
all you guys trying to go and practice kung fu in China. You know where kung fu is coming from? It's coming from South India.
Wow. Facts.
It's a fact.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
So he's a celebrated, enlightened person in Japan, Korea, Vietnam, China.
Southeast
Everybody
Asia.
knows him.
Overall Southeast Asia legend.
You know, there's a video of a person on YouTube going around and asking people, Bodhidharma, in the Chinese word of Bodhidharma, and everybody says, yes, he's this guy, he's that guy, he's a martial arts, he's that guy. From the Shaolin temple, everybody knows.
Bro, I'm
him.
shocked.
Like kids.
I'm too shocked.
14-year-old, 15-year-old kids.
And bro, wait a second. Do Indians know about him?
No.
Bro, it's
So,
crazy. It's crazy.
The fact that you asked this question, every video on YouTube said that the legend who's not recognized in India. But there is a statue and a temple of him in the south.
A statue.
Yeah.
I want statues, bro. I want plural.
Yeah.
Incredible story, bro. Incredible. I'm shocked right now.
Yeah.
Bro, this story.
Yeah. There's another story where Osho, Rajneesh, he says that he holds Bodhidharma, the guy, in a higher regard to Buddha also. Is because Buddha,
and we got to Osho talking about
this is Osho saying in his story. So I'm not saying that this is what the fact is. I'm saying this is Osho's story. It's because Lord Buddha was very skeptical to bring in a female disciple. So at that time, there was always a question, can a female be enlightened? Okay. And Bodhidharma's guru, okay, Prajna Tara. Many say that it's a female. The Chinese believe that it's a male because the Chinese language...
Bodhidharma is a female.
Bodhidharma's guru.
Guru, okay.
The
guru.
27th
before Bodhidharma was a female.
Yeah, but Prajna Tara, the name
Prajna.
in India is a female name.
Yeah.
But the Chinese, I think their language doesn't have that male.
So that
female.
is
so they
portrayed as a male.
They were considering it as male, but the name is a female name. So Osho says that I hold him in high regards because he was taught all his skills by a female.
Incredible.
And he was willing to learn. And he sacrificed everything at the age of 22. 3 years went by ship alone and learned Chinese in like 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Everybody hated him.
What a story, bro.
I've not told you half the story because if you hear the story about his death, you'll be like, bro, this is incredible.
Spit it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. I'm like, bro, I need to know.
So basically, the astrologer said that his body cannot leave this land. Because if his body leaves the land, there'll be a very bad problem. There'll be...
Where's he buried?
So basically what happened is that he found out about this, that there was a ploy to poison him and bury his body in China.
Who would poison such a fucking enlightened soul?
No,
bro?
because he was planning to leave and come back to his home or go travel northwards or something. Right? So there are many theories to his death. So one theory is that he was poisoned and while he was about to eat, he said, why are you guys doing it? So all the village people said that we have to do it. There's no way out. We're not going to let you go. I'm sorry. If we let you go, then our entire village will be, devastated by something or the other, disease or whatever the astrologer said. He said that that's what you want. And he happily ate the poisoned food and he passed away. And they gave him
Like a legend. Huh?
and they gave him a respectful burial and whatnot. And then 3 years later, okay, a diplomat traveling from out of China or something saw this guy, and obviously an Indian brown-looking man is a rare sight, right?
Of course.
So he went to him and he said, "What are you doing with one shoe in your hand?" You know, he's like, "Oh, for the answer, you'll have to go to the Shaolin temple." And he gave him some few things about the king and all of that. And he said, "Don't say this or don't say that," or something like that. You know, gave him a few stories or whatnot. So he went back to the king. And the king is like, "Dude, you're talking about a person who died 3 years ago. You are trying to scare me? You're trying to scare me?" He was jailed. The Chinese guy who saw this guy and went to speak to him came to the king. He said that, and Bodhidharma told him, "Don't talk to the king about all this."
But he did.
So he went to the king and told him that this is what I saw. This is the conversation I had. That he's there. He's going with one shoe back to his country.
Wow.
So the king said, "Dude, he died 3 years ago. He's buried out here, and you're trying to scare me that this guy's going to come," because the king thought he'll come and kill him, or bad luck will come.
Omen.
So the guy who complained got jailed. Okay, you're a fucking scammer. You're trying to scare me. You're jailed. But he sent his soldiers to dig the grave, and the grave was empty with only one shoe.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one story. The second story is that he went to Japan, because in Japan he is so famous that you'll be shocked. So basically,
So wait. If we go to Japan, you're telling me that I can buy a doll?
there's basically this round face. He was very famous for wearing a red cloth,
Like
There's
a
this-
robe.
So there's this round face. Okay, listen to this. Okay, with like no eyes or something, and there's this thing that basically once you feel enlightened or once you feel like you achieved it, the Japanese people draw the eye, so they can see.
So they've drawn the eye.
So, and it's like they say that everyone who's gone to Japan has bought this souvenir without knowing what this is, but this is Bodhidharma.
Is that famous?
It's that famous.
Damn.
It's that mainstream.
Damn.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the pictures.
Bro,
out here.
yo, guys, I this is the takeover. I am shocked today. Today I am shocked. This only tells us that India as a country
Yeah.
has not only created the first martial art,
Yeah.
but we will have a UFC
So that-
champion.
But there is a still doubt if it's the first martial art, but it's definitely the mother of martial arts.
Yeah, Kalari.
You know, Kalari.
Kalari.
But even about
Bro, it's
Bodhidharma-
incredible. It's Devang, like, to be honest with you, dude, I did not have any idea about this, but it's something that every
Yeah.
Indian has
Yeah.
to know. It's something that, dude.
I completely
Dude,
agree.
Devang, this shit.
Aren't you proud right
bro,
now?
Bro, hold up, bro. I'm still getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that this shit is supposed to be taught in school.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
You
say.
teach this shit in your
Yeah.
schools. In history, bro, you teach this
In
shit.
fact, I'm saying don't make temples, don't make shrines, don't make the statues.
Teach meditation, boss.
Teach the story, teach meditation, teach all this, teach the teachings of Bodhidharma. You know what I'm saying? That makes more sense.
Bro, like if bro, this is something that we are supposed to have pictures of at home.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because if China, bro, as a country,
They have made movies.
bro, it's
Oh, there no Indian movie.
like
bro.
if China,
Indian
bro,
people are not.
if China was so impacted,
All the movies are by Chinese people, huh? No Indian person has
bro,
made
that's
the
why,
movie.
bro. I don't understand how, bro. Like I don't understand how, bro. And one thing that I know now is that when me and you talk about something, within 6 to 8 months, something pops up about that.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you,
that.
bro, this is a great story, bro.
But
This is like a Netflix sort of a fucking
yeah.
crazy ass show, bro.
And it's it's well documented. Basically, I also did not know all the facts about it. You know, it's not like I knew the whole story. I knew the kung fu part of it, right? That there's a saying.
Sorry to cut you off, bro, Devang, but when you told me that kung fu might have derived
That's what I'm
from
saying.
Kalari, bro,
Yeah.
like you're not understanding.
It's mind blowing.
Like worldwide, firstly,
We don't hold ourselves in high regards.
because of big names like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan,
Yeah.
kung fu,
Karate, kung fu. Yeah.
everybody knows about that
Yeah.
shit. But you're telling me that Kalari
Bless you.
might be the inspiration for kung fu, bro.
Yes. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. It's not proven, But a lot of people believe this because of the scriptures that are there available in China. You understand? It's not like the Chinese people are saying that no, this did
But
not
bro,
happen.
I'm just trying
Chinese people highly respect him.
I'm just trying to understand.
They
one thing.
highly respect him.
I'm just trying to understand one thing. If China is trying to show so much respect and so much grace and so much fucking, like
He's a part of the culture.
Showcase this person, and that too, he's Indian.
Yeah.
If China is trying to do that, bro, India is not trying to do that. That's like shocking.
That's really
Like, bro,
shocking.
to be honest with you, this is the first time I ever heard about
My
this.
guy, listen to me, bro. Honestly, to me, the most shocking part was not that an Indian person went and taught the martial arts. It was the fact that an Indian person traveled, learned the language, was brown and was a part of the Chinese culture and the community, won the hearts of
And went
people.
into the Shaolin temple after 9 years of
Yeah.
meditation.
You know, there are stories that he was teaching, like as a part of a teaching, they were just sowing jadi booties on jadi booties.
क्या
bro.
बात है? क्या बात है? The culture lives on, boss.
You know, like Chinese also has a very deep culture of herbs and herbal medicine, right? So he in the Shaolin temple was just teaching them, like one class was just sowing jadi booties and the
Incredible.
combinations, because he was a high learner, he had a high end knowledge of Ayurveda. Not only Karate,
When
but Ayurveda.
you've told me so much now, bro, Devang. Sometimes now, bro, it makes me feel that I wish I wasn't born in this era. Bro. Such
This is the best era,
I'm
Rahul,
telling you, bro, Devang.
This is the best.
That this era has been so like crazy. That bro, that the era that was before us was so beautiful, bro. You understand? And just think about it.
But God knows, bro. Now think about it, bro. We are thinking of it from
Bro,
the
it's
perspective
crazy,
of a king
bro.
and
Because
prince,
I've
but
gone,
now-
I've gone straight into like
Yeah.
thinking that dude, the man traveled on a ship solo to China,
Yeah.
bro. Learned the language in 4 months, became a damn national hero.
He became a national hero because he cured people with the jadi booty also. Basically, like children he cured and got them back to the village. And the village people like embraced them. He saved village people from bandits. There are many stories. There are many stories written by Chinese people about this Indian guy. You understand? It's not like some Indian historian has written all these stories, because this did not happen in India. This all happened in China.
so China will write about it.
Yeah.
True that.
And normally what happens is, when you think about this now, it's like, if it's an Indian guy, why would they want to promote an Indian guy? So they would actually hide it and make it a little different. But he's a part of the culture.
Till this day.
He's there in the Shaolin temple.
Wow.
His paintings of him teaching exercise
Wow.
to
There are
Chinese,
pictures,
fair
huh?
Chinese people. A dark person teaching exercise to a group of fair Chinese people is there.
Wow.
Yeah. Just because he saw that these guys are too thin, too lanky, and they don't have the strength to focus for continuous.
And there was no
Amount of
form
time.
of meditation that was introduced to them.
So when that's what his problem was, that he went to China and he noticed that everything is external. Everyone is trying to make temples and worship idols, but actually everything is internal. So look inside. That's when
Which carries on till this
yeah.
day, huh?
He had a meeting with the emperor, bro. Yeah.
Pissed off the emperor too,
Yeah.
huh? Incredible.
He has a name in the Japanese have a name for him. The Koreans have a name for him. Chinese have a
Everybody,
name for
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Everybody, Vietnamese
Indians have a name for him.
Yeah, Indian name is Bodhidharma.
Bodhidharma.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's the guy who created Zen.
Zen mode, bro.
He's the founder of
mode,
Zen.
baby.
Yeah,
Zen
Zen
mode.
Chan, which is Dhyan.
Incredible. What a story. What a story. What a story.
Yeah, so that's the origin of Kalari
Kalari.
Payat, which is also Akhada-based martial arts.
That just tells you that India is so rich in culture.
Right?
So rich in culture,
Right.
man. It's so rich in culture. Yet, bro, we are being taught karate. Dude, goddamn, bro. After this, I hope that,
Bro, I don't...
bro, like, bro, to be honest with you, after this story, dude, I'm shocked. Like, we are still being taught, like, no offense to judo and karate, but Kalari is something that's
It's something
supposed to be.
else.
You need to shed light upon this.
But now think about it. Chalo, you said about wrestling. I said, chalo, Bombay में wrestling होता है पर mats पे होता है. You know, mud पे नहीं होता है. Kalari तो होता ही नहीं है.
Bro, nobody knows Kalari.
Yeah.
Nobody knows Kalari, but it's something that has derived from which
Right.
like AD, bro.
Today, when I see gyms and dojos, I see that, okay, they teach wrestling. and all
Kalari?
that. I have never seen Kalari written. I've
Never.
seen weapons training. I've never seen Kalari written. Yeah. So India had around 50 to 60 forms of martial arts.
Bro, a lot, but basically
But
weapon based. All weapon based.
All weapon based. And you know a story on this also?
Because it's more from the Mughal era, so there were a lot of weapons that
No, so
came
basically
from that.
India has always been into war, right?
Yeah, of
so
course.
It's called Shastra Vidya. It comes from Lord Shiva's teachings, they say. But why it stopped? What was the reason why this did not break through? So there is a form of martial arts in Punjab, weapon-based. Maharashtra, there's a very big form of...
there's one in Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu is this Kalari and all of that.
Kalari, and there's one more. There's one more.
Yeah,
There's one more big one.
So what happened is when the British came, they banned weapons.
Because they knew, bro, they'd fuck shit up.
So what happened is they banned weapons in dojos, in the gurukuls. So all these martial arts became a dance form to make sure that they are not... The legacy lives on.
Which was originally not a dance form.
Which was very aggressive.
So
originally, all these martial arts, the Punjab one also is crazy. It's basically the Blue Turban Sikhs practice it. Amazing, bro.
With the swords and shit.
The original form is very dangerous. It's lethal.
No shit, bro. Every martial art is supposed to be dangerous.
Because the British people banned the use of...
They made it basically a
weapons.
dance, bro.
The senseis had to make it a form of dance and
because
keep the
told.
tradition alive. Otherwise, it would all die. It would all die. Can you believe it?
Bro, all I'm going back to is...
Okay, I did not know that there were 50-60 martial arts in India. I just found that out today.
Even I found that out, but I was just going through it and I found out that everything is weapon-based. But fuck that. Even though it's weapon-based, if India as a country has 50 to 60 martial arts, and after hearing this story about Kalari, bro, we are a country that possibly or potentially formed martial arts.
It's possible.
It's possible. Taking it back to the topic where we began.
It's possible.
When will India see its first UFC champion? UFC being the richest organization, the richest
in combat
sport,
yeah,
and the most valued sport in martial arts. Bro, after hearing this, 3 years.
Okay, let's go.
I'm not lying, bro.
Let's go.
I'm not lying, bro.
Okay,
bro.
what weight class do you think?
Bro, weight class, bro.
I think welter.
Bantam.
Oh, lightweight, you're saying?
Bro, Indians are lanky. You know what I'm saying? Indians are lanky.
I've seen some fighters.
Or we might just see a heavyweight, like an Arjun.
Yeah, light heavyweight.
Light heavy, bro. Light heavy. Like a proper kushti guy, dude. Wo pass.
Yeah.
Wo pass.
So I would love to see an Indian guy, dominate. Like Khabib.
Dominate.
Outclass.
Dominate.
The
like
Islam
wrestle,
like Khabib.
Like Sambo.
Yeah.
Kushti.
Yeah.
And bro, what I would love to see, bro, hopefully, bro, in the future is that our coming generations are taught, of course, they are taught judo, karate, but they are also taught kushti and Kalari.
Of course.
Because we are so rich in that whole martial arts culture.
Of course.
And I hope there's a lot of light shed upon this, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Because...
Bro, you know how...
It's crazy.
Yeah, like how Dagestani people hold Khabib.
Very close.
Islam Makhachev.
Bro.
Usman.
Bro. See, Devang,
we need a person like that.
Let's finalize this right now. That Dagestan is UFC right now. And the future as well.
Yeah, UFC.
Because they are creating fighters.
Wrestling Sambo, yeah.
Because they acknowledged Sambo and this whole sort of their
judo,
culture.
Yeah.
And they created these champions. Yeah. So Dagestan has taken over UFC and they're going to take over for a while.
So cricket is MMA is the cricket of Dagestan.
Exactly. So if Indians actually focused more on martial arts and figured out more about Kalari, Kushti, I think, dude, UFC is ours.
Yeah, na? Bro, cheers to that. Cheers to the next Indian UFC title holder. The champion of the world.
Champion of the world, bro.
Cheers to you.
What a great podcast. And with that...
Okay, one more question.
Okay.
One more question. Let's not end it so quick. We can't end it so quick because this Sunday is the main event.
Oh
Mike Tyson.
Bro, you got me so... Bro, hold
and
up.
Roy
Hold up. You got me
Jones Jr.
You got me so deep into martial arts, fam. Like I forgot that this is it's a carnival this weekend.
This is the week, bro.
Bro, you got
this
me
Sunday
deep.
morning, bro.
Ooh-wee.
It's a party with the...
Ooh-wee. Yo, we got two legends. Combined years, 105. We talking about a 54-year-old and we talking about a 51-year-old.
Facts, baby.
You know, we talking about two legends
Two legends.
back in the game.
Back in the game, bro.
Back in the game.
So firstly, let's state out the irony
Let's go for it.
that retired 50-year-olds are coming back to bring the boxing world excited
Much
again.
needed, you think so?
Of course, much needed.
You think so?
Of course. Are you mad? Who's watching boxing?
Shit,
You
bro.
understand?
450k, bro. Top rank is only
Who's
pay-per-view
watching?
is 450k.
See, the only exciting fighters right now have come in the last 3 years is Wilder, Tyson Fury, and Joshua. Other than that,
and
no heavyweight.
now,
heavyweight.
okay,
I'm talking
heavyweight.
only
Okay,
heavyweight.
okay, all right.
So heavyweight has been quite dead, right?
Yeah. True.
And heavyweight,
because
over
of
the
the whole
years,
Mayweather
yeah.
era,
yeah,
heavyweight took a backseat.
and heavyweight coming from Sonny Liston,
Correct.
Muhammad Ali,
Mike
Tyson, you know,
Roy Jones.
Holyfield, Roy Jones.
On and
All
on,
these
on and on,
guys
on and on.
Made boxing so exciting that the
Correct.
whole world came together, saw it.
Correct.
Right?
The biggest sport of that time.
Biggest sport of that
Yeah.
time. My father, who doesn't watch boxing, used to watch Mike Tyson
Incredible.
fights, right? So Mike Tyson has to come back at the age of 54 to get people excited about boxing again. That's firstly, let's get that
Correct.
clear.
Correct.
You know, the
Correct.
irony
let's
is in
get that.
Iron Mike
Are we
Tyson
on the same page
coming
on that?
back.
Are we on the same page on that?
Yeah,
That it's required?
it's required.
Yeah, let's
it's
move
required.
on.
It's amazing. People are worried about like 50-year-olds hitting each other in
Yeah.
the head, but I'm like, they are doing it by themselves. You know, it's their decision.
Yeah. But then the rules came out yesterday. You heard
So-
about the rules, right?
So another thing. So all these months there were rumors going around that it's an exhibition. No judges.
Correct.
No scorecard.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
If you get cut, fight is over. Right? So basically just to get the people together and enjoy a fight. The owner of Triller put out a statement this morning. The co-founder of Triller. It's not an exhibition fight.
For people who don't know what Triller is, it's a
Triller is a-
streaming app.
Streaming app where this fight is going
Yes.
to take place. Triller is the new TikTok.
After this Mike Tyson fight, everyone will know about Triller.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
So the co-founder of Triller came out, said that this is a legit fight. 8 rounds, 2 minute
minutes.
rounds instead of 3 minutes,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
which is very good for Mike Tyson as
Yes,
compared
sir.
to Roy Jones. But knockouts are allowed. There are judges, and it's a fucking title fight.
No. Apparently now, this is what I read. You can't go for a knockout.
Knockouts are there. He
No,
just
no,
put
no.
out a statement.
Bro,
This morning.
basically, this is what I've done my reading because I've been like fucking glued to this shit. Knockouts not allowed. Okay, no judges. Winners declared by the referee.
No.
Yeah,
Those were rumors. Those were the rumors I was telling you about.
bro. So this is what is now.
Those were the rumors
This
that were
is what
floating on for
people
3
are
months.
talking about.
Yeah, so for 3 months, everyone was talking about that.
There is that firstly because of a combined age of 105. When you have a 51-year-old and you have a 54-year-old, you don't want nobody to die, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people apparently now not even people, but now the rules that came out yesterday are saying that you can't go for a knockout.
Yeah.
Like Mike Tyson can't fucking knock out Roy Jones.
All rumors.
Roy Jones can't knock out Mike Tyson.
All rumors.
Number 2 is that there are no judges. So there will be no scorecard and
All
the winner will be decided by the referee.
No, all rumors. So the co-owner of Triller,
When did he
the
come out and see this?
platform where this fight is being held on today, this morning, put out a statement, an official statement, saying that these are all fake
Okay.
news.
I'm glad.
The only difference is that instead of 12 rounds, there
8
are
rounds,
8 rounds.
2
instead
minutes.
Of instead of 10-ounce gloves, they're going to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And instead of 3 minutes, it's 2
2
minutes.
minutes. Other than that, KOs allowed.
Oh.
It's a title fight, WBC.
So they made a belt for them.
They made a bell for them. And judges are going to score it.
So this, bro, what I read
So it's
is
a legit
completely
fight.
the opposite.
Yeah, it's a legit
now
fight.
what I've also heard is that they've broken every PPV award.
Yeah.
Like Mike Tyson is guaranteed a purse of 10 mil.
Yeah.
Roy Jones is getting a 3 mil guaranteed.
So basically, all pay-per-view buy records
Broken.
in the history have been broken by this fight. And it's exciting, bro, because boxing is pretty much dead, bro. There was no other fight that was that exciting other than the Tyson Wilder
True. Another
fight.
thing that I heard is that 10 years back there was a potential bout that was going to happen between Tyson and Roy Jones.
Many times.
Where Roy Jones was straight up offered like $30 million
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah. That's
And
a
apparently
that's a fake one.
yeah, so that's what is in the news right now, is that he was apparently offered 30 million
Yeah.
cash, but apparently didn't materialize, so it was called off. But this is what makes it more exciting, that if a fight could have happened 10 years back and it's going to happen now, it's going to be a fight
Yeah.
worth watching.
And I saw both the podcasts of Mike Tyson and Roy Jones on Joe Rogan. And they both were like, dude, look at us. You know, Roy Jones is like, I'm fighting Mike Tyson. You think I'm training for an exhibition fight? You
Hell
think I'm
no.
training to spar?
Hell no.
You know, you think there's going to be a sparring competition?
Hell no.
Fuck that. Mike Tyson is like, are you mad? Are you mad?
Impossible.
There's
bro.
no way. I don't
Mike
have
Tyson
a style.
has to go for the
Yeah.
knockout.
So prediction, let's go for it.
Bro, I told you.
Let's redo it.
I told you. It's got to be Mike Tyson, because the way he's looking and the way he's training and the videos he's putting out on Instagram, like, dude, bro, it looks like he's like Mike Tyson, like in 2002, 2001. You know, like it looks like Mike is in his prime, but
He's retired.
But
15 years.
you know, one thing that I feel is that it's not going to live up to its potential, is because I understand that they are old, like they are in their 50s, and it's not going to be like a Mike Tyson fight in his prime and a Roy Jones fight in his prime, but it's definitely going to be worth watching, because we've never seen a Mike Tyson fight in our life. The only time we've seen Mike Tyson fight is on YouTube because of his highlight reels. So it's going to be amazing to see Mike Tyson return. Another thing that would be amazing is that, bro, like apparently they say that this is going to be like a carnival, because they have like around 300 to 500 people working only on the production.
Yeah.
And it's going to be held in the Staples Center,
Yeah.
home of the champions,
But
LA
no
Lakers. No audience. And bro, like, you know who's performing?
Many people.
Like Wiz Khalifa,
Neo.
YG, Neo. You got
Lil Wayne.
French Montana. You
Yeah.
got Lil Wayne
You
performing.
know who's the commentator?
Bro, Israel Adesanya.
Adesanya.
Like, is he like if you got a UFC fighter, bro, as an analyst, bro, you know it's big.
Israel.
You know it's big, bro. Is he, dude? Come on.
It's gonna be a fun event.
Bro, all I'm saying is that, bro, they've set it up in such a way that even if the fight is not a knockout, you're gonna have fun.
You're gonna have fun, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna have fun.
Like, if you don't buy your PPV, you're missing out.
It's gonna be a fun morning for us.
Great.
And
Great.
my prediction is Roy Jones by decision. But
You whack, fam. You whack.
I want.
Yo, next podcast, I'm taking your ass down.
Listen. I would want, as a viewer, I would definitely, as a fan of Mike Tyson, I would want to see a Mike Tyson first round knockout, second round
Hell
knockout.
no, bro.
But my prediction, my assumption is that Roy Jones would win on decision, but I would want, what I would want.
No,
is-
bro. See, bro. I
But I
told
have to
you.
say
no,
it,
no,
I
no.
can state
no,
it.
bro, I don't want you to state it.
But why can't I
No,
say
bro,
what I
homie,
feel?
When people ask you for your prediction, you give your prediction, you shut up.
My prediction and what I want.
No.
Desire and
No,
prediction.
bro.
Can I say my desire?
No. That's whack.
Fine.
That's whack.
Okay. So even
You
though I
just
want...
say your prediction and then you want.
Okay.
So
This is my prediction. I'm going to say it.
don't say your fucking wants.
No, listen to me. This is my prediction. Even though I want Mike Tyson to win in the first round, I predict Roy Jones to win on decision.
Bro, that's whack, yo. Look at this guy, bro. Look at this fucking guy, yo. You know, he's trying to win both ways. You know, this is not a prediction. Basically, if you rewind back, his prediction was Roy Jones.
Yeah, Roy Jones is my
So-
prediction.
My prediction was Mike Tyson.
It's still Roy Jones.
Next podcast, we'll find out.
So my prediction is still Roy Jones decision.
My prediction is Mike Tyson. Dude, have you seen
Which
that
round?
guy?
Which round?
Bro, I don't give a fuck about no round.
I predict na bench.
I don't give a fuck about no round. All I'm saying is he is winning.
But predict.
Bro, fucking,
Which
bro,
round?
I would say
Come on. If you had to predict.
fourth.
You're just saying it.
Yo, bro,
You didn't even
what do you
think
mean I'm
about
saying?
it.
What do you mean I'm saying?
You
What do
didn't think
came
about
from
it.
the
You were
heart?
like 1, 2, 3, 4th.
It came from the heart, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know?
Fine. So in the 4th, you're saying.
See, all I'm saying is that I don't give a shit about no round. All I'm saying is Mike Tyson is winning.
Yeah.
You know?
So-
because bro, come on, have you seen the guy?
But.
Have you seen the guy train?
Bro,
Come on.
I love it. I've seen
And
every
I don't know
clip.
why Roy Jones isn't putting himself out there. I don't know what he's on. But bro, I will tell you one thing.
Roy Jones is such a legend. You have no idea.
Devang, I will tell you one thing. I have actually seen all of Roy Jones' videos, and I have seen that guy like doing his drills. Bro, his left jab.
Bro,
And the way he does his fucking, like, there's one video of him, bro, where he's just like doing the parry.
So
and
you know
he's
that's-
dancing, bro.
But Rahul, that's not a jab.
That's like a...
You think it's a jab. He's coming for a left hook.
Oh.
That's why he's a legend. Yeah. So he makes you think he's coming in for a jab, but he gives you a left hook. And he's the only guy who did it. So Roy Jones, like Mike Tyson was the boogeyman, right? But Roy Jones is also the boogeyman. Because he was totally unconventional. Like Mike Tyson shocked the world with his unconventional style peekaboo. And Roy Jones Jr. did the same
with
thing.
his jab hook. Damn.
You understand?
But you know what bro, I don't give a fuck about this fight. Like, I give a fuck about this fight.
I give many fucks.
But I'm so excited is because, dude, we're going to see so many legends that we've heard great stories about come out of
In
retirement.
our generation.
Like Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson. If they ever fight, bro, come on.
So Mike Tyson said on Joe Rogan
That was his first fight, right?
I'm totally down
Bro, he
to
said,
fight again. After
bro,
this fight, if there's another charity event, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do another one.
100%.
He's like the warlords have awakened my ego.
100%. This is where the money is at. Unfortunately, boxing has taken a U-turn. And nowadays, we are seeing celebrity boxers earn so much money just fighting.
But you rightly said last time also in the last podcast that celebrity boxing is going to be a thing.
Bro,
it's here to stay.
Yeah. Celebrity boxing is here to stay, bro.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
For sure.
That way, I want to ask you, if an Indian celebrity...
Okay. Let me think. Before you ask the question,
hold up.
I got my answer.
If we had to organize like a celebrity
I have an answer.
boxing night
Yeah.
with two Indian, like
I have an
celebrities,
answer.
who
So
would
wha-
it be?
So if one is my
I
choice
know.
versus your choice.
Try come,
Okay.
split it.
Mine is Vidyut Jamwal.
Oh, martial artist. Huh?
He's a Kalari guy, bro. He's been training Kalari since the age of 4.
Fuck, bro. So why did
I know yours. I know yours. Your favorite, Varun Dhawan.
Wait. Fuck, bro. Who should I go for, fam? Kill me right here, dude.
Varun
I don't want
Dhawan,
to say
na?
no fucking Tiger Shroff for Varun Dhawan. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, bro. You love Varun Dhawan.
Fuck you, bro. You love Varun Dhawan. Hell no, bro. Dude, I gotta go for like someone like... damn, bro. You took me there, huh? There and there, bro. You had your opportunity and you fucked
I
me.
thought about it. I got the answer. Come on, now you have 5 seconds, bro. Now don't waste time.
Shit, dude. Shit.
You can say
Sushil
Varun
Kumar.
Dhawan.
Sushil Kumar.
No, it's an Indian.
Boss.
He's a fighter. Celebrity.
Devang,
No.
he's a celebrity.
He's a fighter.
Boss,
No.
better show respect to someone who has won a gold medal at the Commonwealth.
He's a fighter. That's what I'm saying. Don't
show.
call him a celebrity.
I'm again telling you,
He's an athlete.
bro, don't piss me off.
Bad choice.
See.
Select a proper guy, bro. Select a superstar. Come on. If you had to.
कौन superstar यार?
John Nape.
धूम मचा ले. Shit, dude. Who we got, bro? We got Dangal. We got Amir. No,
Amir, bro. Now Amir is old, bro.
Bro, you took it, bro.
Go for Varun.
Tiger Shroff.
Tiger Shroff?
Tiger Shroff.
Okay, fine. Chalo.
Tiger Shroff. Tiger Shroff.
Anyways, now moving on to a better question, bro. Who do you think is the best or the most exciting fighter in this generation in boxing right now? And second, MMA.
Great question.
Yeah. So boxing first.
So what I would like to add is that I got into boxing because, of course,
Cheers.
we got into boxing
Money me all day.
at an era where, of course, my favorite fighter, bro, someone who I look up to and someone who's so entertaining, Floyd Mayweather. Someone like him got me actually into boxing and got me waking up at 7 a.m. Indian time to watch a live fight. I would never think that would be possible.
True. I've done that too.
You know, bro, we got to give props to Money May.
Yeah.
According to me...
But I want this generation.
This generation, that's what I'm saying. So,
Bro, you're thinking too much, answering less.
my answer is going to be someone who's not that established, but someone who is going to be established is going to go. I'm going to go with Gervonta the Tank Davis.
He's good.
3-time world champ, 25, 22 knockouts, 23 wins. An incredible story.
He's good.
Incredible story. Starts fighting at the age of 5. Raised with no parents.
He's raised by his coach, I think. No?
Yeah, raised with no parents. At the age of 11 or 12, grandparents leave him. Has to move in with his coach. Raised in the most dangerous area in Baltimore. Has seen his friends die in front of him. Has seen his coach's son die in front of him.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
Incredible story. Coach takes him in. Coach is an ex-drug dealer, but comes out only for Gervonta and trains him in such a way that he wants to breed a champion. Now, another thing that I really like about Gervonta is that, bro, we have seen him perform. We have seen him perform and we have seen his knockout power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we have seen that, okay, dude, like, bro, what is boxing? Boxing is a story.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a story. Like, every boxing superstar has come from hardships.
An artistic approach to combat.
Yeah. Like, Floyd Mayweather, bro, come from nothing, taken over the world. That's what a boxing story is supposed to be like.
So you really enjoy
So what
Gervonta.
I feel is, bro, why I want to support Gervonta and why I support Gervonta is because I want to see the rise.
True.
I want to follow Gervonta when he is not a great, but he is on his way to be a great. So I could be a part of his journey.
True that.
You know what I'm saying? What about you?
True that. For me, it's what really brought excitement. Again, like you, I was also just watching Floyd and Manny fight, right?
We were born in that era.
Yeah. So which is not the most exciting.
Yeah,
fights
because
to watch.
defensive,
Yeah.
not offensive.
Not only defensive, offensive. It's welterweight, so you don't see knockouts. You don't see those hard punches. You don't see.
Bro, Devang, let me add this. The first ever Floyd Mayweather fight I saw was a Floyd.
You must have not understood anything.
No, I didn't understand.
Yeah, even
anything.
I didn't understand
Like you told me, yo, homie, go home tonight and watch 24/7 HBO.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm on it. Watched it for like 6 hours straight
Yeah.
and realized that, okay, damn, Floyd Mayweather is fighting Victor Ortiz. And I realized that has only been Floyd Mayweather's last knockout,
Yeah.
bro. The last knockout has been
Which is
Victor
not the most
Ortiz.
exciting one
So what
because-
you're saying makes sense.
Yeah. And if you see that knockout was a very
Yeah. Protect yourself at all times,
Controversial,
right? That
yeah.
fighters protect yourself at all times.
Yeah, exactly. So my favorite and the most exciting fight of this generation is Tyson Fury because again heavyweight. We've grown up listening about these heavyweights and how they took over the entire division.
Yeah, true that.
Right? In our generation, those Klitschko brothers didn't do nothing. Right? They were
Dude,
boring fighters.
I did not hear about the Klitschko brothers. The only time I heard about him is because of Tyson Fury.
The only thing exciting about the Klitschko brothers were the entrances.
Yeah?
Great entrances.
Carnivals.
Like their fights were like in arenas and they had some incredible entrances with like
So they
holograms of Mike Tyson and Sugar
So
Ray
basically
Leonard.
they were running the heavyweight section for a while.
I think the Klitschko was the heavyweight champion for 12 years.
What?
Yeah.
Until Tyson?
I did Tyson.
What are you saying, bro?
Yeah.
So he's a legend, huh?
Oh yeah. But boring.
Distance.
Great boxer.
Distance.
No, just jab and
Clinch.
grapple. Yeah, clinch. Yeah, jab and clinch. So, Klitschko was boring fights. I never saw any. I didn't understand what heavyweight was that time. But Tyson Fury, not only is he a great technical fighter, like a great technical fighter, like he knows how to fight in all the different areas of boxing. He's also exciting.
True that.
You know, he's
True
also
that,
exciting.
bro. That's true, bro.
Not
He is definitely exciting.
How is he exciting? Because
Yes.
it's like everyone who fought Deontay Wilder went for the knockout. He said, I'm going to outbox Deontay. He outboxed him in the first fight. He said, that didn't work for me. It was a draw. He's like, I'm going to knock Deontay Wilder out. Now, Deontay Wilder has had 41 fights and 40 knockouts.
Wow.
You understand?
Bro,
and
he's got 40, huh?
and he did it.
And with class.
This guy who is not a knockout artist, who's a artistic boxer, goes up to the greatest right hand ever. Deontay's right hand is the greatest ever. He's the
100%.
is
knockout
strongest,
artist, boss.
yeah.
Knockout artist.
And he knocks him out.
Incredible.
That was a spectacle. Like that made me
Incredible,
feel like,
incredible,
okay, chalo, heavyweight
incredible.
is coming back. It's going to be
Would love
fun.
to see that.
AJ versus Tyson Fury
Yeah.
would be a fun fight to watch. Even
But
though
I was
AJ is gonna
expecting
lose.
your answer to be AJ, na, because you like all these. You like a nice, like a 6-pack, 8-pack chiseled body.
Sushil Kumar and all I like.
Yeah, like you were saying, oh, Sushil Kumar, kya body banaya hai. So
Bro,
I was like,
kya- But Sushil
Devang
Kumar's
might-
body, have you seen, bro?
and he's a vegetarian, fam. Incredible.
He's 100% natural.
And 66 kgs, bro.
He's 66 kilos of muscle. His shoulder is
Bro, you see his
unbelievable.
power. But going back to Tyson Fury, bro, I completely agree because I would love to see and I'm glad that heavyweight is coming back because I've never actually seen a heavyweight fight. We've always been in the Mayweather-Pacquiao era.
Yeah, because they were the most exciting guys.
Yeah.
The heavyweights did not talk. They did not build an audience for themselves. Like Klitschko was only famous in Russia and Germany.
Correct.
And that's about it, bro.
Correct.
Like Mayweather with the 24/7, with the kind of talks he had, with the kind of handle on media
Bro,
he
he
had.
sold the fight. Bro, I would say that nobody sells fights like Mayweather does.
Mayweather sold the fight like it was
let's be real.
WWE.
Let's spit some facts right now. The number one ranked pay-per-view fight till this day is Mayweather-Pacquiao.
Yeah.
It is not Mayweather-McGregor.
Yeah.
It is Mayweather-Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you believe it, bro?
Incredible.
Yeah.
And number 3, he's back. Mayweather-Pacquiao. Number 4, he's there again.
Yeah.
Mayweather-Canelo.
Yeah. So basically, people just want him to lose, and he's making all the money.
So it's sometimes it's good to be the villain.
So Tyson Fury also, not only is he entertaining and a great legendary boxer with amazing skills, but he also has a good story, right? The way he fought depression, he almost committed
Incredible.
suicide. Basically, the doctor told him that he has a dangerous level of depression. He has a suicidal tendency, and he came out of that, came back, and fought Deontay Wilder.
But you know why? I think like boxing is such a great sport is because all these fucking fighters are so fucked up. Are you understanding? Everyone has a story of their own, bro.
Modern day gladiators,
Bro,
bro.
they are modern day gladiators, man.
That's why do you think we enjoy watching it?
Because are we modern day gladiators, fam?
No, bro. We are
No?
talking in a microphone, bro.
Please talk for yourself, because I am one.
Modern day radio host.
Shit, cut. But
think about it,
incredible. The fight game has never looked this exciting, and so excited for this weekend, dude.
This weekend is going to be fun, bro.
So excited for this
This weekend is
weekend.
definitely going to be fun.
So
On that
excited for
note,
this weekend. On that note, man.
GLE.
We fucking out, man.
Ciao, ciao.
Salud.
Bye-bye.